For sports. Touchdown! The flagship station of the Patriots, Bruins, the Celtics. WBCFM and HQ Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station celebrating 65 years of broadcasting. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots and Denver Broncos will both get back to practice today with the AFC Championship game coming up Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. For the Patriots, all eyes will be on the status of starting defensive back Carlton Davis. He left last weekend's win over Houston with a head injury and did not return. Robert Kraft told the 98.5 The Sports Hub yesterday that team owners are indeed going to push for an 18th regular season game and have every team play one game outside the United States every season. Former Miami head coach Mike McDaniels is reportedly going to be Jim Harbaugh's offensive coordinator with the LA Chargers. The Bruins ended their brief road trip by getting run over in Dallas last night 6-2. Jason Robertson scored twice for the winners. The Bruins got goals from Morgan Geekie and Fraser Minton in the third period, but only after they were down 6-0. Marco Sturm was forced to watch the whole thing.
Two things we talked about. Say we want to play 5-on-5. That didn't happen. And then we talked about face-offs. So we're pretty much chasing the game right from the hop. And against a team like that, it's going to be hard.
A 6-game winning streak is now gone. Bruins are back home to play Las Vegas tomorrow night. Celtics host Indiana this evening. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones, both elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Sports Hub headlines are powered by Joyce Cooling and Heating in Nashua. Get up to $2,400 in rebates and tax credits when you upgrade to a high-efficiency Lennox system and start saving big in 2026. Schedule online at joycecool.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
This is what happens when analysts take over the games, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher.
You might hate me, but you're listening.
And Hardy.
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
On 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah, boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy.
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
You need to tell Fred Toucher he needs to be nice with you. Joe Murray is awesome when he's baked. Once he got the gig in the morning, he got pompous.
Hey! Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985.
I just love it.
That's true. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. A lot of Patriots talk today. Our friend Darren McKee, if you recall him from years and years ago when both Denver and the Patriots were in the playoffs playing each other quite often. He from Denver radio. He's from here, but he's been in Denver for many years. He will be joining us coming up the show, along with Mark Daniels. Our friend Chris Forsberg will be on as well. So many things going on. Plus, across the station, Hardy's big cruise is reverberating. People are bringing that up on the air.
Mm-hmm. Everyone curious. Everyone fascinated with the seaworthiness of one Mr. Hardy.
Well, he's being paid to go on a 90s cruise.
That's right.
And so we will get into that at 7 o'clock, as there has been a member of the staff that said he would not do the 90s cruise if it was offered. And I'm calling BS on that.
Okay.
Because, and then I thought about it more, Hardy, and you and him have been on an adventure before far worse than the 90s
my
cruise.
God. I forgot about that.
For maybe the exact, I can't remember the exact time frame, but let's just say same amount of time or maybe even a little bit longer.
No, that was longer.
I didn't know you had my travel schedule in front of you, John.
I'm fascinated that you actually did that because I know that I could never have done that. So I was fascinated that you were on that vehicle for so long.
Well, now no one knows what we're talking about. I wasn't going to get this deep into it, but Hardy did something where he had to go around the country.
It was the Drive for 5, Fred.
Right, which nothing more needs to be said. The Drive for 5, you all recall. But it was a tour bus that I guess there had to have been sponsors involved, but because I mean, it would have been idiotic if it wasn't something that sponsors wanted. But Hardy got on this tour bus and went city to city that was when it was in Arizona. Was that? Did you guys
Houston?
Go to Houston. So you guys went from Boston to Houston, stopping at different cities along the way.
It was a decked-out tour bus. They had it wrapped in Patriots logos, called the Drive for 5, and it was me, Jim Murray, I believe 3 members of Patriots Media, Patriots.com, people I had never met before. Maybe I had met one of them once, and the 2 drivers. And I think the bus had last been used on a Leonard Skinner tour. So it was a nice bus, but we left, let's say it was a Monday morning from Gillette Stadium and went to Baltimore. We went to Maryland. We were stopping at places between here and Houston that had some connection to the Patriots. So we went to the Naval Academy to see the Bill Belichick Library. We stopped at Rutgers because, all of the secondary at that time was, a Rutgers alum. And we'd get on the field and we would shoot videos, and it was all about the content, making content for Patriots.com. And had to sleep on the bus, stopped and did fan rallies in North Carolina, Atlanta. We did one in New Orleans, I think.
No, outside of New Orleans, where Kevin Falk was from, right?
Well, we stopped out. We stopped outside of New Orleans, but the one night we stayed in a hotel was in New Orleans. But other than that, it was just all these hours and hours on the bus, and then we'd stop somewhere and say, "Get off, okay? You and Jim need to come up with something for us to shoot here, and make it funny." Like, I want to go home. I don't want to be on this bus anymore. I don't want to do this. And that sleeping on that bus, you've seen them, Fred. You've been on band tour buses before. There's a big room in the back for the lead singer, but that was taken over as an office space for them to go back there and edit and produce the video. Where everybody slept were in these coffin bunks, and I think they were stacked 2 or 3 high on each side of the hallway between the sitting area and the driver area and the big room at the back. And you just had to lay in this coffin, and you could only lay on your back and stare up at the ceiling. And that was it. And we were told we weren't going to be stopping any, hotels or anything. You just had to, sleep like that. And the drivers were taking turns sleeping, except that one night when I remember waking up in the morning, the bus had stopped. We're like, oh, what are we doing? And like, the drivers got too tired, so they stopped at a hotel last night. They're inside the hotel sleeping. I'm like, what the F? What? They're in there in a bed? I know they're doing the driving, but we could all be in a hotel room right now.
We're in the parking lot. Maybe we just walk over there.
I said, no, it's okay. Once they get up, they said, we can all take turns showering in their hotel room. I'm like, I want to go home. That's all I want to do.
Meanwhile, you're in Georgia somewhere.
And by the time it was all done, and we had to stop at this goat farm because, I don't know if you've ever heard this. Brady was the goat. So we stopped at a baby goat farm where, get it? This is where the goats are raised. This kid comes out in the middle of it, sensing his big moment, and he was picking a banjo. This was in western Louisiana near the Texas border. I said, well, now I'm not going to get to go home because we're all going to die.
Yeah, you were in a very inbred part of the world.
We're just going to end up dying here. But when it was finally all done, and we're done, we made it. We made it to Houston. We had to do another party. But the first thing that happened, we left on I think Monday and got to Houston on Saturday night. Said, okay, now you got to host this last fan rally here to kick off the start of Super Bowl week. Like, oh Jesus, it was brutal, absolutely brutal.
Yeah, I remember thinking that was terrible. We had to talk to you guys on the air every morning, and one thing about it is that you mentioned that I find very interesting is that there's a Belichick Naval Library.
Yeah,
considering he was never in the Navy, and I bet you if you would look through the history of the Naval Academy, maybe as much as any other United States institution, that there have been big, huge, famous, renowned names, not famous necessarily for, just something dumb, but like historical names coming out of the Naval Academy. But Stolen Valor Belichick, he's got a library there. That's what he wanted to put his name on, huh?
And it was weird because there's only one book in there. It was Lolita, and that was it.
Hello.
Fire of my loins.
Hello.
Nabokov, front and center under a glass dome.
It was cuckolding for dummies. It was being...
Fin sub.
Yeah, being a fin sub.
A starter's guide.
A little piggy is what they call it, right? A pay pig.
Yeah. So I think this cruise will be much better. I don't know what it's going to be, but it had to be better than that drive for 5, which Jim Murray was on, and it was fine. I mean, he and I got along, but he was insistent on a few things, like him and his hot sauce. He's one of these hot sauce kids, and he was no kid at the time. I wasn't a kid at the time. But the kids always have to have their hot sauce with every meal, whether it's the sriracha or something.
I don't know if that's a kid thing. My dad had a friend who had a holster with a Tabasco sauce in it.
Yeah.
So
he always had to bring his hot sauce into whatever restaurant we were eating in so he could eat his food. He couldn't eat it without the hot sauce. And I remember being in New Orleans, too, and we were trying to get something shot. And he said, he had to go to the bathroom. I'm like, we've all had to go to the bathroom for 4 days. No one's taken a decent dump since we got on this bus.
Yeah, you can't take a dump on the bus.
No.
Yeah, that's a big thing. That's a big no-no. No defecation on the bus. So, but the reason he brings up Jim Murray on it is Jim Murray's the one who says he wouldn't go on the cruise. But yet he did that drive for 5.
Yeah.
And he works during the football season, sometimes 7 days a week. So I highly doubted the opportunity for money in a free trip that he's not taking it, but whatever. Well, that's really neither here nor there. There were some things about Hardy's plan to go on this cruise that I find are very fun, interesting, not funny. Interesting is because, one, that he's going alone. And his days aren't completely planned. Like there's only like an hour of activity that he has to do.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of downtime stuck on a boat where he doesn't really know anyone.
Well, you know me, I make friends though.
You do make friends. You're not afraid to go to a gentleman and start talking.
Well, and I'm hoping to get to know some of the crew.
They won't want that. They have their own world going. You ever been on a cruise before?
Kind of.
Okay.
3-day cruises from LA down to Ensenada don't really count, but yeah, they were cruises.
Yeah, because the staff, they all have those like lower decks, and they're all doing their own thing. They all got their own little ecosystem. They have their own bars and everything else.
Their own society.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get invited into that world.
I just want to be able to talk to maybe a guy who throws a rope or something, or maybe he has to shovel coal into the engine.
Well, they will let you into the captains. They really will. I mean, if you are that kind of person that wants to go see the captain.
I do.
Because there might even be a night where you dine with the captain.
Stop.
You have to wear a suit, though, because you have to show the captains the proper respect.
Well, then I'm not dining with the captain.
But, and the captain's not always on deck, like the captain's got his own thing. But you can go in there. There's lots of screens and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times the gym is right next to the cabin. Like, or whatever, not the cabin, whatever, the deck, like, or whatever the hell it's called.
The bridge?
Shut up. where there's steel, the cockpit or wherever the hell it is.
Yeah, sorry.
But they're, they're in there, and you can like kind of see in. There's it's a whole operation.
Why is the gym next to the bridge?
Maybe because of the windows, and that it's not like prime territory or something like that.
That's where they only put all the outlets on that one part of the ship.
It's true.
There's a shared wall. They plug in all their scopes.
That's the only place.
And then on the other side of the wall, the treadmills get plugged in.
But there's all kinds of radars.
That's
and
the
things.
stuff that fascinates me about those ships.
Very smart.
Well, yeah, you'll have found all the plugs. There's no question. You'll be able to charge your phone, and you'll be the cat who ate the canary.
How's the Wi-Fi on them cruises?
I'm sure it's great.
It's got to be great by now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll be fine with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine that's how they get everything now.
But Marcy has like no desire to go on a cruise, so it wasn't like she wanted to go and I said, "No, there's a work thing. I should really, you should stay home." It was more of a, so you're going to do that. Have fun. And I said, well, listen, if it's great and I have the opportunity to do it again, then, and they said from the jump, you're welcome to bring somebody. You've got your own cabin. You can, have someone in there with you. And the only thing that they would have, the cost would be, I think I would have to pay for her flight to and from Florida.
Right.
Because I don't have to pay for anything, obviously, because it's for work. But for her, I would have to pay for her flight.
Right. So, that seems like that would be nice just to know someone on the boat.
Yeah.
Because even I told you, I thought about it, and it's like if I was on the boat and I was thinking, at least I'll be able to like meet women because I'm going to like be hosting stuff. And usually even any perceived sense of being an entertainer, just being like on stage is to some select women like an aphrodisiac. It is for men too. Have you ever seen like a woman perform, like they become immediately more attractive? And then I immediately went to, well, yeah, but even if I did do that, I would be trapped on a boat with them. So that would be difficult I would think, to shake loose.
I haven't really looked much into the actual ship that we're on, but I'm wondering if they have pickleball aboard that ship.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays I would have to imagine that it's almost illegal not to. It's part of international sea law.
Celebrity Constellation, nicknamed Connie. Millennium class cruise ship from Celebrity Cruises.
They made it this millennium.
It's popular adults-only solarium with a large...
That's right. Anything goes there. Devil's threesomes.
A large thalasso pool. Don't know what that means. Attracting older cruisers with value, comfort, and destinations like the Caribbean and Mediterranean.
Yeah, so that's why the 90s cruise is on it. It's for older cruisers. Lots of railings. Lots of things to hang on to.
Lots of railings in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Lots of non-slip
Every
surfaces.
bathroom has a seat. Has a seat in the shower. It's perfect for older cruisers.
Oh, this isn't a huge ship. Around 2,000 passengers and crew.
That's fine. You'll be fine.
Okay.
You're not going anywhere. No, I'm not. I'm not even being sarcastic. You're really not going anywhere. Like Tampa to Key West is easy. Key West to the Bahamas is not even like really. I think that you could take like a normal boat there. I mean, I guess you could take a normal boat anywhere, but I don't think that that's like a difficult navigational thing.
Activities. A casino, which I was counting on. Theater, sport courts, basketball, and pickleball, cooking classes, and family fun.
Family fun.
I wonder what the pickleball sitch is. I wonder, if what's your ranking? What's your number?
You know what? I haven't done an updated duper in a long time.
Yeah.
It's still sitting at a 3-1-1-2.
Yeah, I wonder when the 3-1-1-2s can get out on the on the pickball. I saw a lady walking her dog. She had the my country club hat on, and she told me, she's like, "You got to get." I didn't know who she was, but we started talking. She goes, "You got to come out to the courts." And she goes, "Have you gone?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't even seen them." And she goes, "Oh yeah, but if you can play tennis, you can play pickleball." And I go, "That's the issue." I was afraid. I was afraid it was going to be beyond me, pickleball. I didn't know that standing ping pong at a bigger table.
I'm starting to think that is part of the appeal, especially in some of the older communities, is the not the idea, but the absolute fact that anybody can do it.
Well, that's the brilliance of the game. I mean, that, in all seriousness, that's the brilliance of the game. Is that, they say tennis is the sport that keeps you alive the longest. Now, this is real, and this was in the New York Times. Within the last week and a half, there were activities that associated with the greatest, like you live longer, like length of age, lack of dying, I guess. And they said tennis because not only is it a physical exercise, there's something about the hand-eye coordination that sharpens the mind. And I've heard psychiatrists say this before, is that, or I don't know if they're psychiatrists, but like neuro people that study the brain, saying that the act of hitting a tennis ball, so you're keeping your feet and hands coordinated in syncopation with the ball.
That makes sense.
Can stave off mental decline. So if you think about it, some people can't play tennis when they get older, their shoulders or knees or whatever. So pickleball probably has a lot of the same cerebral
attributes,
advantages, while not the workout that tennis is.
No, Hardy's going to outlive all of us by this.
Well, I think you could pick it up at any time, John.
And I think if I were playing tennis, that might be true. But for pickleball, I'm not sure. Although I did play my first competitive intermediate session yesterday.
Woo! You didn't lead with that?
No.
What was this guy's rating?
Well, it's a bunch of people, and if you sign up for this, you just know that you're going into. It's not,
They call it the devil's balls.
It's not advanced beginner. It's not low intermediate. It's competitive intermediate. So know what you're doing. You go out there, you're playing with people who can actually play now. And, I was a little nervous. Would I be able to hold my own? Held my own in some of theirs. You know what I'm saying, John?
Nice. I do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, it's all very exciting. Pickleball is moving at very, very quick speeds. And you got to get your duper rating at all points. You have to have that on time. But we will be back. The Bruins played last night. Coaches are being announced. All of that on the way. and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Real quick, Dan, go ahead.
Hey, Freddie. I just don't want you to overthink being healthy. Tennis is a rich sport, and rich people go to the doctor and have access to medicine. So just keep a healthy body weight. Don't worry about the actual activity you're doing. Just exercise.
But you're not. You're not right. Like it staves it. That could be part of why people live longer. But the act of the hand-eye coordination is
like pickleball.
Right, like pickleball. But that can help stave off, they believe, brain deterioration.
Ooh, I like that. Okay,
and
right.
Thank you. And the social connection in tennis, they believe, can help with that as well, because people tend to isolate as they get older. Your health breaks down. You tend to isolate. Then you are not, your brain is withering away. Look, are these studies correct? I'm not Joe Rogan here. I'm not here to tell you that I know. I just, I can't tell you that I read a synopsis of a study or heard a doctor talk about something and now all of a sudden I'm an expert. All I said is that, and this is fairly harmless stuff. I think if the worst thing you do is you played tennis, I don't know if I'm ruining your life. I'm not telling you to go get hepatitis or something like that. I'm not saying there's microchips and things. I'm just telling you that they believe oh boy, here we go.
I got emails. You would tell
there's
people.
These heavy ladies going to Six Flags. They don't like it.
You would tell people to go play tennis.
Even though he wasn't the one that freaked out about that.
Now I'm getting emails. I don't want to play tennis. Stop telling people to play tennis.
You know, that, oh boy, we have a golf sponsor that is peeved. By the way, they say that there's a lot of it that might be crap, but the idea is that something about the paddle sports, it's not just tennis. I'm looking at it now. Paddle sports, so yes, including pickleball, even ping pong. In fact, they say ping pong is even better for it cognitively. Because it's a quicker game. But like paddle sports, hand-eye, and then you add in the social part of it. At least it makes logical sense. But listen, I could be wrong. I don't mean to endanger the society with my reading of synopsises. Again, I am not claiming to be a medical expert. Again, I am not Joseph Rogan, who will debate his other equally. Like the comedian that played the gym teacher on the Goldbergs. The two of them will get into heated debates on the ways of science. And then you're like, is this guy even a comedian? He's barely a working actor. And here we are. 10 million people apparently are watching this guy babble about science.
I saw Dana Carvey and David Spade talking about Joe Rogan's podcast not getting nominated for it, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but I think it was Carvey is like, well, it's ridiculous if the Golden Globes are going to do an inaugural podcast award. He said, number one, he's got it figured out, and it's not like they haven't heard about it. They've got how does that thing not get nominated? At least nominated. You don't have to give him the win. But that is an FU to Rogan to not at least nominate him for the first podcast award at the Golden Globes.
Well, the whole thing is stupid anyway, because, again, if you told Amy Poehler 3 years ago, guess what, you're winning a Golden Globe, she'd go, wow, that's awesome. And then you go, it'd be for podcasting. She'd go, oh, no.
What has happened? And what horrible thing?
And I can add in another thing. If you would have told David Spade and Dana Carvey 5 years ago guess what? They're going to be talking about you for something not like sensational, nothing that you did wrong.
Not a film.
No, but nothing that you did wrong.
Oh, yeah,
and they'd
yeah,
be
yeah.
like, oh, well, that sounds good. What is it? Oh, your podcast. They go, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave that a run, and I couldn't get past Dana. I like Dana Carvey on Saturday Night Live back in the day. I'm not a big Dana Carvey in a free-flowing medium guy.
Yeah, I'm not a Dana Carvey stand-up guy either. I just
And I've, I walk the dog. I go to the gym. I do things where I want to listen to spoken, like audio, like not music, but like people speaking. And I've really, and I've even gone to the point where I found guests I found interesting and searched them, and they get on these shows, and it's not being a radio snob, or it might be being old, but it's not being a radio snob. And a lot of these guys that do podcasts are way older than me. I can't, there's no pressure. It's just taped and long and can go on for an infinite amount of time.
Right.
There's no live audience with meters on, keeping track of things. I can't do it. I mean, even like, I'm a big Bret Easton Ellis fan. I heard him on Mark Maron, and I thought that was good. I even heard him on a Guy I Don't Like's podcast, and it was good because Bret Easton Ellis, the guy kept going, his name was Eric Weinstein, and he kept, or Weinstein or something. He kept trying to like get him to talk about politics and like going, you think this, and finally Bret just goes, you know what? I don't care. And then that was pretty much the end of that. But then I listened to some interviews, and I'm like, I can't even get through the first the first 3 minutes of this.
I tried it with. Are you familiar with the Adam Scott Aukerman podcast where they do bands and they do albums? And I think the first one that got them the attention was they did U2, and it's like, are you talking U2 to me or regarding me? I don't. It's a horrible title.
U2 talking to me.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. But then they did it with REM. And I'm like, oh, I like Adam Scott. I don't know if I know Scott Aukerman all that much, but I was reading all these great things about the podcast. I'm gonna skip ahead. I'm gonna hear them talk about my favorite REM album. And first of all, as you said, Fred, it's 10 minutes of not even like fun grab ass. It's like, oh, is this on? Is this on? Are you here? I'm here. It's all right. Well, let's get to it. We're supposed to be talking about Automatic for the People. And the first thing that one of them said was, all right, so I listened to this album in its entirety for the first time last night, and I turned it off. I said, well, I thought I was going to hear two experts on REM dissecting an album that I know intimately. Yeah. And instead, one of them says right from the jump, he had never heard the album all the way through until the night before they did the podcast. And I said, well, this is stupid. I'm not going to listen to it. And I didn't.
Except for podcasts that tell a story, which we've gone over. Those are the ones that are like a unique medium. Like you can't do that on the radio. You can't do that. Like even the way they do it in podcasts and an audio book with like interviews and stuff like that. So take those out of the like true crime and all that out of the picture. The only one that wasn't limited, so there's three that I've really, really liked. Go Bayside, which is where this woman, and then she would have a comedian who watched an episode of Saved by the Bell for the first time, and then they would take notes and get in together and discuss the episode for like an hour. And the comedian, who a lot of them were completely unfamiliar with Saved by the Bell, their incredulousness at the whole exercise.
Yeah.
And like they knew the woman, so like it's actually it's really old, but it's like a really good podcast back when it was kind of like a novel idea to do that. Of course. Oh, Hello, the podcast, which is a triumph.
Which is a triumph, and anyone who's not familiar with the Oh, Hello guys, if you were to listen to it, you might get through the first episode, but after that you would tap out.
Oh, I don't know. I've listened to Oh Hello podcast maybe 10 times all the way through. It's only like 6 episodes. And then Chip Chipperson, Jim Norton's podcast. So those are like really, and Chip Chipperson's the only one that was on for a long time.
I had some of that on yesterday, and that's still just so enjoyable.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have tried, believe me. I mean, I listen to audiobooks and stuff. I have audio, and I listen to the radio, but sometimes I'll get I want to hear something else. And I've tried. And like I said, I've Googled guys I like just to hear them being guests on podcasts, because every podcast is an interview. And, to be fair, even guys I didn't like, interviewing people I did like, I've gotten through. But I found myself going, I can't even listen to these guys getting interviewed, and I like the person getting interviewed. But that's the big, what you just said is your favorite band, album you're incredibly familiar with, two guys talking about it. That's like wheelhouse stuff. There's a lot of latitude there and then the fact that you couldn't get through that. And I like Adam Scott, and Scott Ackerman did that Comedy Bang Bang podcast, but that was, by design, kind of hit or miss. Because Comedy Bang Bang?
Yes.
If they would have like guys on doing characters.
Yeah.
But half of it wasn't characters, and that was almost unfathomable.
Yeah.
The way that went down. An improv guy not doing improv is even worse than an improv guy doing improv. Right.
We can do this quickly here, because normally if what happened last night after a Bruins game, we would just go every goal. Too many goals. We're gonna play a game called Every Other Goal. In last night's,
I don't think you need to do that much.
Yeah. We won't. Last night's Bruins visit to Dallas started like this 16 minutes into the first period.
Headed toward the far side. It'll come back toward Robertson with a shot. Knocked off the glove of Swayman. Got loose in the crease. Forced in behind the net by Corrali. He ends up getting knocked to a knee. Puck will come back toward Heiskanen over to the far side. Right back across, and they score.
Power play goal there for Dallas. They go up 1-0. They would score again right before the end of the first. Let's jump to the second period.
Stars win it. Heiskanen. Shot, score. Ooh. Heiskanen right to Lindell for a one-timer, and Dallas makes it 3-0.
That's right. You heard that correct. 3-0. Now, if we're playing a game called Every Other Goal, I would hope the Bruins answer, and maybe this one will be 3-2 at this point. I mean, who scored the next goal? No, Dallas scored the fourth goal, and
McAvoy reaching in with his stick. Pulled free by Hintz, angles it off the boards back to the right point for Heiskanen. Right back down deep it comes, all the way around to the near circle. Robertson steps in behind the net. Wraparound, scores. One of the top goal scorers in the league makes it 5-0 with a stuffer on the far post.
He's been a force all night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was 3 minutes into the third, 5-0. The Stars would actually go up 6-0 before Morgan Geekie scored on the power play. But
hey, there he is.
I don't even.
There he is. I recognize that name.
I mean, do we even need to hear it? No. 6-2 the final. Fraser Minton also scored there toward the end of the third.
They got outshot 37-18. Marco Sturm. They pulled Jeremy Swayman finally in third period, and Sturm said afterwards, I felt bad for him. They were so terrible. Last night was one of those stink bombs you could turn off midway through the second period. They were awful.
Yeah,
they were awful. Just about every facet of the game. Dallas has the second best power play in the league. So the Bruins take 3 minor penalties in the first period, give up 2 power play goals, and away we go. It was a horrible
too many
game.
penalties. Yeah. Too many penalties. All right. We will be back in just a moment. The Baseball Hall of Fame has just gotten even greater.
I was wondering if you're going to get to this. All right.
Yeah. Well, one guy's fine, borderline. The other guy, I lived in town while he was playing, and he was not even a star in the city of which he played, but there you go. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots and Broncos meet in Denver this Sunday in the AFC Championship game. Both teams will be back out at practice today. Team owner Robert Kraft told 98.5 The Sports Hub, Zolek and Bertrand yesterday, the league is now really going to push for 18 regular season games and 2 preseason games each year. In addition, every NFL team would play 1 international game a season. Bruins had their 6-game winning streak snapped in Dallas last night, care of a 6-2 loss to the Stars that wasn't even that close. Bruins are back home tomorrow night to play Las Vegas. Celtics entertain Indiana at TD Garden tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7. That's tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. The Baseball Hall of Fame for a long time was the only good Hall of Fame. And, obviously, baseball's getting popular again, but the way that it's covered is funny because it's become like a niche sport. The people that cover baseball for a living, first of all, it sucks to cover. It's 162 games a year. You're traveling. You're in like Kansas City in the middle of July when it's 200 degrees for 4 days. Just, with a day, you have to have all day to kill, and then you got to go to the park and dick around for 9 hours. Like, it's no fun. So I can understand why people don't want to do it, especially with media being so scattered and everything else. But the people that tend to cover baseball now are people that are very into math. And I love when sports radio shows call people nerds and then people will call in and they'll talk to like Alex Barth, and then Alex Barth and the radio caller will both be pontificating about nerds. And I would say one person's calling into a sports talk radio show and the other is Alex Barth. I don't think anyone's, making the jukebox start by rapping on it. Let's be honest. This isn't a bastion for the coolest people on the planet to get together. But it is like a math thing. I'm not even saying that's nerdy, but it is. It becomes like this whole math thing. So I'm reading like the ESPN breakdowns of who got in and who didn't get in and why Omar Vizquel didn't get in, which is domestic violence, but why he's not getting votes. And there's numbers in these statistics that are just, I don't even care to read the article. Like, baseball analysis has gotten, and I love baseball. I'm around it all the time. I'm around the baseball way too much. But the analytics of it from a fan perspective, the analytics that you as a fan are getting, analytics that players sometimes don't get. Like, you are getting more analytics in some ways than players are getting. Like, I don't think a pitcher is being given a batter's like OPS plus and da. Like, I don't think that they have to know anything about that. They know.
I think they know tendencies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, tendencies.
Hot zones. Where do I throw this pitch?
Right. What they're susceptible to. Yeah. They study hitters way more than they used to, but I don't know the degree of analytics that they study. And we've been over the frailties of a lot of this swing path and a lot of the way that guys that have not played baseball are analyzing hitters, and they're telling Jim Rice to get out of a
drive line. Yes.
Telling Jim Rice to get out of the way, and just to let you know that these things are moving. Is that this all power, no average thing is kind of starting to drift away, and as is this, you have to throw 98 miles an hour. I'll give you the two pitchers that the Red Sox have invested in this offseason, both of whom are lucky to hit 90. So anyway, I lived in Atlanta for 8 years. I lived in Atlanta when the two people that got in the Hall of Fame were Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones. Fine, Carlos Beltran, fine. Andrew Jones played in Atlanta. Well, first of all, Atlanta won World Series while he played there. I believe that's 5 guys from that team that are in the Hall of Fame now. Chipper Jones, the 3 pitchers, and Andrew Jones. So that's 5. Am I missing anyone?
No, I saw a stat last night. Hang on, I'm trying to pull it up. The 97 team now has like 8 members of the staff and players in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so Bobby Cox calls it one of them.
Sherholtz, the GM.
Oh, okay.
I think he's
so that's
in,
7.
Whatever the case may be.
All right, very good. So maybe I'm missing one player. Maybe some guy was on there for a minute. But can I tell you? And so Andrew Jones played in. Oh, go ahead.
Andrew Jones, Chipper Jones, Fred McGriff, and then the 3 pitchers.
Fred McGriff's in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, he is.
Hachi Machi.
Yes, he is. And then you have the manager and the GM.
Fred McGriff. Oh, that must have been a veterans committee situation.
No, he can get elected.
Okay, all right. So Fred McGriff. Yes. Yes. So anyway, Andrew Jones wasn't popular in Atlanta. Like he wasn't the guy on that team that anyone cared about. So if he wasn't even popular in Atlanta, and they won one World Series. Why the hell is this guy in the Hall of Fame? The only thing I remember about Andrew Jones is Bobby Cox going and pulling him off the field because he was lollygagging.
Here's the thing. Younger voters also have something to do with this.
Well, no, and they're obsessed with numbers.
I never saw this guy.
No, I already explained all that. They're obsessed with numbers.
Look at it, and he won 10 straight Gold Gloves, I think it was, hit 30 home runs a bunch of years in a row, but once again, it goes back to the smell test. You watched him play. Did you immediately think he was a dominant player in his era?
But he wasn't. What I'm saying is he wasn't even a star. You know who's still a big star in Atlanta? Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy's still a big star. Look at Crash's effing Instagram. He's still taking pictures with Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy, I don't believe, is in the Hall of Fame.
I think you're right.
Dale Murphy won an MVP. Put Dale Murphy in the MVP.
He's not in the Hall of Fame, and he absolutely has the numbers to be in there.
Well, Dale Murphy is far more popular a baseball player than Andrew Jones.
MVP twice, Dale Murphy.
So
back-to-back years, Dale Murphy.
You could say he was the most dominant player in Major League Baseball in the early 80s.
And I was a little kid in Detroit, and I knew who Dale Murphy was. My son couldn't tell you who Andrew Jones was. Now, it's not a contemporary of his, but my God, I mean, there should at least be a little bit of juice behind the guy.
More All-Star appearances than Andrew Jones.
Well, what do those matter other than popularity?
Well, he won 5 gold
other than
gloves.
everything.
Remember what we're talking about here.
Is the Hall of Fame.
It's the Hall of Fame. It has nothing to do with how well a player is known or liked or revered or how much the public is enamored with him.
But
no.
We're to the point now where you need separate wings for the really great players and the players that just barely made it in.
There's two problems. One is like the whole math of it is being leaned way too in. And I think with the people that are super into math comes this inherent like pussiness where like they feel like someone has to get in. Like it would be mean not to let people in. So when Ramirez and Rodriguez aren't going to get in, like Manny Ramirez and Alex Rodriguez, when obviously they're first ballot Hall of Famers, they're unanimous Hall of Famers, but because of PEDs, they're not going to get in. So people start fretting and going, oh no, like let's be nice and we got to let people in. So guys that weren't close start getting pushed up. By the way, Chase Utley might make the Hall of Fame.
And
Chase Utley, by the way, want to talk about a role player on that team.
I know.
I mean, a little bit better than a role player, but certainly not some kind of incredible stud.
Andrew Jones' first year of eligibility, first year on the ballot. You know what percentage of vote he got?
20?
No. Under 10.
Okay.
Under 10. And he's in the Hall of Fame.
And somehow almost 70% of the voters changed their mind.
It's amazing.
Between now
Dustin,
and then.
here's something else to think about as we go forward here. Dustin Pedroia doubled his vote total from last year. And now, I've said this on the air, and I've said this to you in private, Fred. Dustin Pedroia, a great player, loved him as a member of the Red Sox, not a Hall of Famer. Well, he's trending. Now that Andrew Jones has made it in, you look at a guy like Pedroia who got 11% one year and over 20% the next year, like, okay, I can see this happening.
Well, now you just have to be pretty good, but not have any stink of steroids around you. So,
yeah,
I, for one, would rather just let steroid guys in and just have the best players in. But Beltran and Jones got in. Chase Utley was next, which is ludicrous.
At 60%, he's in range.
Yeah, I know, John. Andy Pettit was next, which is ludicrous. Felix Hernandez, I think, is better than all those guys except for Andrew Jones because at least he was dominant for a while. Rodriguez and Ramirez, Bobby Abreu. I can't even tell you anything he did. Jimmy Rollins was okay, but he's the same as Chase Utley in my opinion. There's Cole Hamels. They love that team.
Yeah.
They just say, like anyone on that one team, the team that won the one World Series.
08, 09, somewhere in there, the Phillies.
Pedroia, Mark Burley. Now, someone voted 20% of the people voted Mark Burley for the Hall of Fame. What's Mark Burley's career?
White Sox for a while. He was the ace for the White Sox for a while.
Mark Burley is a guy that I can't even tell you anything about.
He was on the 05 White Sox team that won the World Series, I believe. And John, does
You
he have one or
believe.
two MVPs? Yes, to your point, Fred.
Yes,
it's
you
easy for me,
believe.
too. Yeah.
You believe. That's something that you
Cy-
you wouldn't. If a gun to your head, you couldn't make the decision,
No,
but you believe.
I'm saying I'm like 90% sure that he was on the
Burley
05
finished
team.
5th in the Cy Young voting once.
Yes, he won 19 games in 2002. You want to hear his win totals? I know no one. It doesn't matter because wins are a faulty thing. 16, 19, 14, 16, 16, 12, 10, 15, 13, 13, 13, 13, 12, 13, 15.
Yes.
So he is one. He was a pretty good second or
pretty
third
good.
starter on team.
Andy Pettit was the best number 2 starter you'll ever see, but he was never an ace. At least Felix Hernandez was an ace.
No, Felix Hernandez was the best pitcher in baseball for a little while. So this is, the floor is so low that, as these guys go, Felix Hernandez for a non-steroid guy. Felix Hernandez, in my opinion, next to Beltran, is the best player on this list that's not a steroids guy. Now, Omar Vizquel got that domestic violence thing. I mean, David Wright's better than Chase Utley.
Yeah, I think there's
Francisco Rodriguez, that's a terrible position. And then Torrey Hunter, if you put it in a blender, is the same as Chase Utley to me, too. Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, Bobby Abreu, Torrey Hunter, put them all together. At least Torrey Hunter was fun to watch. So, congratulations to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Mark Burley. I hope he gets in.
Rick Porcello got 2 votes.
Oh, he's dropped from the ballot. That beats.
Oh, that's a shame.
No longer.
Because I recognize his name. That's a shame.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back. Controversy amongst the station with Hardy's side jobs we will discuss.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The on just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots will be back at practice today after a day off yesterday. They visit Denver this coming Sunday in the AFC Championship game. Yesterday, Robert Kraft made some news. He told 98.5 the Sports Hub, Zolak and Bertrand, the league is now going to make a real push for an 18-game regular season with only 2 preseason games. And as a part of that, all teams will play 1 international game every year. In other NFL news, former Miami head coach Mike McDaniel will reportedly become the new offensive coordinator in L.A. with the Chargers. Dallas led the Bruins 2-0 after 1 period, and it got worse after that. Final score, Stars 6, Bruins 2 in Texas last night. Jeremy Swayman allowed all 6 goals before mercifully he was taken out early in the 3rd period.
There's still positives to be taken out, and it's hard to get punched in the mouth, but exactly what you said, it's important. It's a long season, and it's our job to get out of it.
This was a 6-0 game midway through the 3rd period before Morgan Geekie and Fraser Minton each scored goals to make the game look a lot better than it actually was. The Bruins host Las Vegas tomorrow night. Celtics entertain the Indiana Pacers this evening. Grandy and Max at the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones were both elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99. Like the juicy chopped sirloin, all Big Deal meals are now available all day, every day for just $14.99. You gotta love the 9s. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Irish shot.
The Bruins.
Rebound score!
Play here, the Sports Hub.
My buddy.
With friends like these,
to climb up a tree.
you know.
We're the best friends you can be, my buddy and me.
Now,
Me.
more of your best morning buddies, Toucher and Hardy, on the Sports Hub.
Which I heard the other day.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Mark Hamilton's. He's a good guy. Used to work with him at WBCN. He's a good DJ. Mark Hamilton and Hardy are on this channel Lithium on Sirius Radio. And as part of this, Hardy feels these needs to retain these jobs. He's a very hardworking man. It doesn't pay a lot, right? The whole lithium thing.
No.
But you have the equipment, and you figure you might as well just do it.
I've been doing it for over 10 years now.
Right. So it's just kind of like habitual. It doesn't take you. How long does it take you to do a show generally?
Well, I'm on for 6 hours on Saturdays and Sundays.
But that's such a chunk of time on Saturdays and Sundays. You don't mind spending the whole day on lithium, huh?
Yeah.
No, but in all honesty, how long does it take you to knock that out?
45 minutes.
45 minutes to do the weekend's worth of shows.
No, each show.
Oh, so you an hour and a half each weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a bit of time. So you got to do that. Believe me, I used to voice track a station in San Francisco and a station in Kentucky back before speedy internet. And that would take me forever. I did Lexington, Kentucky, and San Francisco. 2 markets back in the 2000s, early 2000s. And I didn't have to play the songs, but I had to record the break and then load it in manually. So like my breaks had to be, so it was like double the length of breaks. So like it was like a whole situation.
Yeah. I mean, you figure there's 24 breaks over a 6-hour show. Those breaks run anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute long. Sometimes, you nail it. You don't even have to listen back. Upload it onto the next one.
Well, I would imagine you never listen to them back. There's no way you can't do 45 seconds without listening to it back. You know what you said.
Yeah, but just technically you want to make sure everything sounds right. And,
Okay. Listen, we don't have to get into how the sausage is made. But nonetheless, you're getting onto this boat. So part of being on lithium is that...
Well, I got offered this because of my job on lithium. This is not... It doesn't have anything to do with Sirius XM.
Right.
This is an independent company. They do an 80s cruise. They probably do a ton of these things. But just out of the blue, I got an email last spring. Hardy, attached is a firm offer to be one of the hosts on the 90s cruise. Here's who's already on it. It sails on these dates. Here's what we'll pay you, yes or no. And I thought, this doesn't even seem legit. I mean, I've never even heard of these people before.
Did you consult Eddie Trunk, who is a big proponent of rock cruises?
No, I consulted Kat Corbett, who is also a former Boston area DJ who was on Sirius XM.
Unfamiliar. Eddie Trunk, I do know.
Yeah, I know. But a lot of people know Kat Corbett from her days on FNX, and she had done the first 90s cruise a year ago. She said, yeah, it's great. They asked you to be on board? Awesome. I said, okay. So I talked to Jim Louth and Rick Radzik, our bosses here. I said, hey, I got an offer to do this thing. Obviously, I'll take vacation, but, it looks like it might be fun. And when is it? And I said, well, it's judging by the calendar here, it would be the week after the AFC Championship. So it's, the kind of like that dead zone 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. And we all just said, well, it's not like the Patriots are, we're going to be there. And even Jim was saying, yeah, I don't think there's going to be any issue whatsoever.
They don't know anything about football. It's so strange that Jim Louth, who's devoted his life to the Patriots, could know so little about football. They didn't know the Patriots were going to be in the Super Bowl last offseason.
So, or at
according
least,
to Instagram.
Yeah, to the AFC Championship game at the
they're going to
at the most. So, but now
John's like raising his eyebrows. Like,
there's some
mojo.
I agree with
there's
you.
some mojo on this. I don't care.
They
for,
should.
Go ahead.
No.
Now, so the
I'll
funny
bother
part.
you about it off the
The
air.
funny part about the timing is, so I fly out Saturday. As part of the crew, we get on board the ship early on Sunday, and we have to have a staff meeting and all this stuff. But the events that are going down, the first one that I'm scheduled to be at is a welcome to all the 90s cruise attendees, and that is at 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
What time's the game kick off?
3
o'clock. And then my next thing that I have to do is I am hosting the 90s flannel trivia, and I've already written the questions. They're all set to go. Maybe later in the week I can quiz you on these, Fred.
No?
That is at 5:30, which feels like about start of the fourth quarter of the AFC Championship game.
You'll be able to catch up. I don't doubt over the 9 days that you have off.
I know, but
you're not watching anything. No.
Especially for games like this. Do you want to watch them on delay?
No,
do you want to find out what happened afterwards?
For you, unless it's the Lions, who cares? I mean, this isn't like something you don't watch the Patriots out of enjoyment.
Oh yeah, I still do.
I'm not saying you don't find the games entertaining, but it's not like something that you've revolved your social life around.
Yeah, if it were the Lions, I would be. I'd be on the phone with them right now saying we got to move the trivia thing.
Right,
yeah,
which I think would be legitimate. But yeah, I mean, as for the Patriots, in terms of your job, it doesn't matter if you see it live or not. And I don't know. I don't think you're going to be. I think you'll be curious of the score, but it's not something that like is in your DNA of like.
Right.
I've rooted my entire life for this team. They're finally in a championship game, and I can't watch it. That's it. That only comes with fandom from your youth. All right,
but the cruise itself, I haven't been on a cruise in more than 20 years, and nothing like this for this. It's 5 days, but okay, sure. And, people go on cruises all the time. Sounds like it might be fun.
All right. So Jim Murray, we were alerted to this. Gasper and Murray were talking about Hardy's 90s cruise. I have not heard this. Here we go.
Jonathan and Randolph, who says he feels strongly about the Texans tomorrow. Why, Jonathan?
Hey, guys. Quick, Murray. May I ask a question first because you were on this topic earlier. Is there enough money in the world for you to get on that Hardy's 90s cruise for all 5 days?
Oh, how many
that
days
cruise
is it?
From hell.
How many?
It's 5 days.
I mean, a real number? 7.5 million? I've never been on a cruise. I never want to go on a cruise.
Same.
It's 90s bands. All right, I had to look this up. So this 90s cruise that Hardy is working here coming up.
By the way, this sounds like a cruise that probably has a lot of lower back tattoos.
Okay, again, Hardy and Jim Murray did an effing tour bus thing across from Boston to Houston where they stopped in places like rural Louisiana at a goat farm. Somehow, I think Jim Murray is doing this.
Which, by the way,
by the way, this is on Saturday. This show is on. So last week. He did Monday through Sunday. Because he does pregame too. So he did 7 days a week of radio. If you told me, in all honesty, if I did 7 days a week of radio and they said, listen, you'll be able to afford to not do 1 day of radio for the year. You'll get 1 day off. If you do 5 days of a cruise, I would, of course, go, oh, I don't have to pay anything. I'm on a cruise boat, and they're paying me enough to get a day off during the year, like every week for the year. Of course I would do that. So a little bit of I don't believe any of this from Jim Murray. I'm not offended by it on your behalf. I get the sentiment. I thought it was funny, too, when you first did it. But it's hard for me when a guy's working 7 days a week that you wouldn't, and that you went on an awful tour bus ride. I mean, people are paying to go on this cruise.
And do you know what we got paid to go on that tour bus?
Oh, no.
No.
Well, the initial offer was nothing.
Oh.
No money.
How did they come to you with that proposal?
Well, they asked me and Rich to do it. At the first, they asked me and Rich to do it.
I remember
that
this
go?
now. Yeah.
It was a firm no.
Yeah.
It was a non-negotiable no.
So I got some money out of it, but it's not what I'm making for this 90s cruise. And I don't know what Jim got paid, if he got paid for that tour, for that drive for 5.
Right. So, again, I get where Jim's coming from, but you're working a Saturday, Sunday. You're doing a cruise. I think you're doing a cruise.
Yeah. Tampa, Nassau, Key West, January 25th through the 30th.
Yeah, those are terrible places to go, no question.
It's going to feel a lot better when it's -2 here on Saturday.
Right, but if you're paying for a cruise, the good cruises, again, Key West and Nassau are bad ports. They are.
What?
Yes.
The Hemingway House.
That's right. And then what?
And then you get a wristband. You get to walk through Atlantis as long as you don't touch anything.
No, you get to do the lazy river. That's right. I've stayed at Atlantis last 2 years.
Touch anything, you cruise people.
Yeah, when the cruise people get off, the lazy river gets all disgusting.
The film on top.
Yeah, it's gross.
You got to get the skimmers out.
But Gasper is right about the back tattoos. At least judging by who comes to Atlantis from the cruise ships, a lot of bad tattoos, myself included.
Free drink package included. I mean, if this is what you're advertising, yeah, I might be low on the $7.5 million.
Just for your own edification, a free drink package is offered on every cruise. That's not a sign of a low class cruise.
Starring TLC.
Oh, I like TLC, though.
I mean, aren't most of them not even alive anymore? Sugar Ray, Better Than Ezra, En Vogue.
Oh, this isn't bad.
Tonic.
Okay.
Fuel.
No.
Smash Mouth. Oh, Jesus.
I like Better Than Ezra in TLC, thumbs up. Fuel, no.
What?
She called me from the cold, just when I was low, feeling short of stable.
Is this them now?
Yeah, I think that's
that's Bronson Arroyo's version. We threw that in as a little extra. Little kiss
I thought that was the new singer.
No.
Because I think Brett Scallions
might as well be, you know?
Good, you stuck that in there.
I might be Bronson Arroyo singing lead for Fuel now.
I've said this before. That song or Hemorrhage in My Hands is the song that 99X played more than any other song in its history. So in 99X was next to K-Rock, maybe the biggest alternative station in the country for at least a few years. I'm fascinated why Fuel has not come out of all of this way larger in like a retro perspective than a lot of these lesser bands. Like Fuel had the bigger hits, those Hemorrhage in My Hands and that.
Yeah,
and
Shimmer. Those were the
Shimmer
two big
were
hits.
like massive, gigantic alternative hits.
Yes.
Edward McCain, he had one song.
I don't know who that is.
And I never like you before.
Oh,
I think that,
that's not right.
No, it's I'll Be is Edward McCain,
Yes.
isn't it? Yeah.
And I'll be your crying shoulder.
It's funny. I know that song.
I know that. Huh? Come on.
I had
Jim.
no idea who sang it.
Edwin McCain. There's a reel of him on Instagram saying when he's walking through Home Depot with his kids, he's like, "This is why we're buying lumber today."
Yeah, that's funny because that's
always on in the Home Depot.
Yeah, that's a song that I know, but I never played on the radio, and I never cared to investigate who wrote it. It's just not. It's not bad nor good.
Yeah, it's just there.
It exists, and I like the way Edward McCain put that because it's a very self-aware thing. That is like a song that comes on Home Depot, and it doesn't bother you.
This is why we were able to buy gas on the way here today, kids.
Yeah,
this song,
and it's very unintrusive. It doesn't really make you think. It
not
doesn't.
offensive.
It's non-offensive.
I think that's who that is.
Okay.
Kid and Play.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they have to be a combined weight of like 400 pounds.
Ola,
Maxi Priest. He had one song. EMF. They had one song. Sponge. DJ.
But you have to assume that if it's a 90s cruise with a bunch of bands, the idea is, because Milo asked me about this, the idea is that collectively you put enough of them on, their fan bases equal the 2,000 rooms.
You're unbelievable.
Right. Like if there was an EMF cruise, I would go, I would go, this is going to be tough to sell.
Is it going to be on the Spirit of Boston?
Right.
Can you?
Let's go to Castle Island.
Well, Pie Tasters played one of those Spirit of Boston cruises. It was a fun time. But nonetheless, you figure collectively as a, that better than Ezra, like what? Like has 400. So they have 400. And then you got to fill out the lineup. So figure TLC's got 500 fans. Better than Ezra. We're aware of these bands. That you figure that they have 400 fans, 500 fans, and then you kind of like got to round out everything. So you get like these bands that just people go, oh yeah.
I'm low on the 9.5 million.
This actually sounds better than I thought, but I still am not doing a cruise.
He better be getting a lot of money to do this. My God. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, so let's play a game in studio. I don't know Jim Murray that well. I've been praising him of late. I liked what he did with Bedard very much. Let's give a number what you think it would really take Jim Murray to do that cruise.
Let's guess how much money he makes now.
No.
We shouldn't do that.
No, I don't know. No, I'm not trying to attack or overly praise the guy. I'm just saying, what do you think it takes for Jim Murray to do that cruise?
$3,000.
Yeah, I'm in the same ballpark. I'm saying like 3,000, 3,500 free airfare in the cruise, and he can bring his wife, and he just has to fly her down.
Yeah, and they do everything together. They're
then
always
I'm saying,
taking trips.
You know what? The more I think about it, $2,000. If he can bring his wife for free, a free 5-day vacation, because, like, let's just say he makes plenty of money, but not like crazy money, where he can afford to take like a couple vacations a year.
Yeah.
So if you say he takes 2 vacations a year, this is a free one, so that now he can take 3 vacations a year. Plus he's getting paid, and that pays for another vacation. So let's add that up to 4 vacations this year. $2,500. Let's say his vacations cost him $2,500.
You're echoing many parts of my thought process here.
Yeah, so you're doubling your vacations.
Yeah.
That you can afford to take based on taking a vacation. I'm saying $2,500 because he has a wife, so he can take her for free.
Okay, I was going to go a little higher. I was going to say $4,000.
Oh, I don't think so, John. You're wrong.
Okay. All right.
Just to let you know.
All right.
You lose.
Damn it.
Jim's on the phone. He said he'll take him at $2,500. I just think that's funny. Like,
yeah.
Now, what would it take for you to do the cruise, John? $2,500? $4,000 is what you're saying.
I said for Jim. For me, it would be less. For me, it would be like right in that ballpark, $2,000-3,000. Bring my wife down.
There's also the ego part of it, of being asked to do something. Like, there is that ego part of it, like getting an unsolicited email going, based on something you've done, would you like to do this and host things?
That's part of it, but I think the larger component for me, Fred, is something we talked about before, is my default answer is yes. When I'm being asked to work, I still have that mindset. Yes, I will. I gladly, happy to be asked. Who am I to turn down work?
So for me, the biggest issue would be burning the vacation week because of, because now you got to take 2 weeks at Christmas with the way everything is now. So it would be burning the vacation week. But there is a number where I would do that, Cruz. There is a number where I would do it, certainly.
What is it?
I mean, if they pay me $10,000, I would.
This isn't bad.
I would certainly consider it. Obviously,
Okay.
right. I would consider doing it for $10,000. Of course, if I had someone to go with, I would.
Lord mercy.
Right. If I was drinking, if I wasn't sober, then we're talking $5,000.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
sober, $10,000. All right, we'll be back in just a moment with Mark Daniels.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from...
We're Toucher and Hardy. Mark Daniels covers the Patriots for Mass Live. You'll be able to hear the game Sunday at 3 o'clock here on this very radio station. Pre-game, I would imagine, starts earlier than even noon. I would imagine it's a whole day affair. I don't know if you can put on like a Celtic show or something on the day of the AFC Championship
Probably
game.
not, no.
I'm guessing no. Mark Daniels, hello, sir.
Hey, guys, good morning.
Good morning. So did you know about the altitude? Did you know that it takes a long time?
I did not, guys. I'll be honest. That was a new fact for me. No, I can remember Bill Belichick staying out in Colorado to prepare for Mexico City. And if you guys remember that
Yeah, we
game,
talked about that yesterday. They were at that like Air Force academy.
Colorado Springs, yeah.
Yeah, then they went like no huddle against the Raiders, and the Raiders, they needed like oxygen on the sideline. So it worked for that team. I don't think they were out there for 11 days though. So, but I trust Mike Vrabel that he knows what he's doing. So far, so good with him.
Yes, it seems to be going well. So Bo Nix being hurt, does this change the whole found money kind of situation, the whole that the season is a success? It's got to be very disappointing for this team if they lose to Denver with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, I think it's changed a little bit, right? I mean, Bo Nix has been such a huge part of their offense. He really, and one of their top rushers too. He had 5 rushing touchdowns, over 350 rushing yards. He's been good. I think maybe in some ways underrated. 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and I think there's a reason Jared Stidham hasn't thrown a pass since 2023 in a regular season game. So you have a prime opportunity to sort of live with the, hey, we have an easy schedule. Just, embrace that, beat a backup quarterback, and you're in the Super Bowl, So I think it would be absolutely disappointing to not take advantage of this opportunity. And we might have talked about this before, but like just the fact that like in the playoffs, you haven't had to face Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, like, yeah, people are going to talk about it being, a cupcake road for the Pats. But at the end of the day, all that matters is you get to the Super Bowl and then, you have a chance to beat, either the Rams or the Seahawks. So, yeah, I would certainly be disappointed. I mean, I haven't booked my flight to San Francisco yet, but, I'm pretty close.
But the whole reason that anyone should care about the regular season at the time being an easy schedule is if it was going to be a factor in the playoffs. Like, the only reason that the schedule being easy to me was even a topic of discussion was that if that was going to hurt them in the playoffs.
Right.
That when you finally played playoff caliber competition, that you were going to struggle because steel sharpens steel and all these things. You want the path to the Super Bowl to be as easy as possible. You want to make the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't like this about New England. New England Patriot fans, because it's not New England, it's not the other sports. It's just, I don't think there is a national conversation around how easy the playoffs have been for the Patriots. Bo Nix getting hurt and the backup quarterback that hasn't thrown a pass in 2 years being the quarterback is by fact a gift that if I'm anybody, I'd gladly take. Why would that bother you? Why wouldn't that thrill you? I just wanted to go through the exercise of hearing the writers say, yeah, this is good. Get excited. This is a incredible opportunity. Because I think going to Denver to play Bo Nix in a relatively healthy Denver team is a very, very, very tough road. That's a very tough place to play. Obviously, it goes without saying. And now it's gotten infinitely easier. Why wouldn't that be anything but exciting?
Definitely. And I don't know if people remember this. Like back in 2014, my first year covering the Pats, their AFC divisional game was insane against the Ravens, where they had the that fake offensive line play. They had the double pass with Amendola. Everyone remembers that. I don't think anyone remembers the AFC Championship because they played a Colts team with Andrew Luck that just wasn't good. The Pats absolutely blew them out. And yeah, that was obviously a good thing. The Pats got their hard game out of the way before the AFC conference tilt, and then they beat the Seahawks. But yeah, no one came away from that playoff run and be like, I don't know, the AFC title game was really easy for the Pats because the Colts didn't have a defense and they couldn't protect Andrew Luck. No, I mean, you got to take this thing. I mean, Mike Vrabel's coached once in the AFC title game. The Pats haven't been back to the Super Bowl since the 2018 season. It's so rare just to get these opportunities. So, yeah, they should embrace it. And if people do talk trash, I'm sure the Pats will use it as a motivating factor. I mean, that's what the defense has been doing in this playoffs too, right? All right, people are talking about the Texans. They're talking about the Chargers. Well, what about us? Well, this week people are going to talk about the Broncos defense, and the storyline is going to be, all right, the Broncos have a top 10 defense, and if they're going to beat the Patriots, they're going to have to beat up Drake May, and their defense is going to have to be better than your defense. But yeah,
they're definitely really going to have to search for any kind of negativity this week. That's going to be they're going to really have to send. It's going to be like Russian media. They're going to have to censor 99% of the things that come out. They're going to have to find like Mike Florio or like one guy that's picking against them this week. That's going to be a tough task.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, let's add on to that point about the defense. I mean, very good defense in the Chargers, very good defense in Houston, very good defense this week. I'm wondering, based on the problems that the Patriots had last week executing against that Houston defense, how will the offense look different this week?
Well, you hope Drake May's internal clock is a little bit better and he doesn't fumble the ball as much. The Broncos led the league in sacks with 68. Number 2 was the Falcons with 57. So, they're sacking the quarterback more than any team in the NFL. So I think the book's already out on Drake over the last 2 games is, hit him early and often and cough up the ball. So for the Pats and Drake May, ball security is the number one priority. I mean, if I was to tell you guys, hey, the Pats are going to have 5 turnovers in their first 2 playoff games, you'd probably say, well, maybe they lose. Yeah. I mean, you cough the ball up that much against the Houston Texans, you probably should lose. So how is it going to be different? I mean, Drake May has to be better, and I would just say the left side of your offensive line with your 2 rookies, Will Campbell and Jared Wilson, they have to be better. And Will Campbell has been very accountable after the game, and one thing he pointed out was he's been struggling when they've been giving him help, which makes no sense. And I think he said it was weird as bleep. I can't say that word on the radio, but it has been weird as bleep that Will Campbell's been struggling when they're giving him a running back or a tight end next to him. And whatever's going on, he has to clean that up.
Will we see more of that this weekend? I guess that's what I was kind of getting to.
Well, is he implying that the help is hurting him?
Something's breaking down in his mechanics. For whatever reason, when someone's getting chipped and then he goes to block him, he's not doing it as he's been coached. Which I don't know if it's a mental thing. Like, all right, Travion hits this guy, so it's a bit delayed before getting to me, and then I block him, and something's breaking down. That's what he was saying after the game. But yeah, this week the Broncos have 4 guys with 7+ sacks. Nick Bonito has 14. So yeah, whatever's breaking down there, they have to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, there was some reason to believe that they could get out of this when later in the game against Houston. May started getting out of the pocket and rolling to the right, but if
you can't do that all game.
You can't do that all game, and with the sheer number of guys that they have, as you just mentioned, that have these large number of sacks, they're going to be coming at them from all directions. So they're gonna have to figure something out, and it does seem odd for as consistent as May was throughout the season. Yeah, he faced 2 really good defenses, but it was a stark contrast, the way he played in the last 2 games as opposed to what he had looked like pretty much the entire regular season before that.
And there's been a lot of talk about, weather and opponents, but I do wonder if the weather has affected him in that sense too. It's just, that's what I thought. All right, it's snowy, the ball's slippery, it's cold in New England, and I know they practice outside. But, I think it's a little bit different on game day. But I'll say this about the Broncos, too. During the regular season, they didn't force a lot of turnovers. Their takeaway margin was actually negative. It was -3. Yeah. But last weekend against the Bills, they had 5 turnovers. So I think the recipe for success for Denver is pretty simple. It's force the turnovers and don't turn over the ball on offense. And, hopefully, something happens for your good. But, yeah, I think this is a good week for the Patriots, guys.
You think it's a good week for the Patriots? How do you see this game going?
Yeah, I mean, I think the defense is going to punish Jared Stidham, and at the end of the day, it could be another 1st to 20 wins, and I like it. If that's the case, I like it when you have Drake May. But also, the Denver also allowed, 30 points against the Bills last weekend, and they forced 5 turnovers. So, Mile High is a tough place to play, but you're going up against a backup quarterback when it looks right now like you have a championship defense. So, yeah, I mean, if the Broncos scored 20 points, I would be very surprised.
Yeah, the way that the Broncos have played this year, it would be like both units never played well at the same time, and they were able to win that way, and they were able to win with Nick's running around at the end of games when he had been playing terrible all game.
That
and
was
now
the danger. Even though you held that guy down for long periods of time, there was always that part of him that you have to worry about. Now,
well,
that's
they were
off the
winning.
table.
They were winning. However, they were winning games, which was erratic and went both ways. I mean, the last week of the season, they played, a team with Trey Lance at quarterback, a Chargers team with Trey Lance, and they couldn't get in the end zone offensively, and their defense was great. But then they play Buffalo, and they allow all those points.
It just seems to me that the Patriots will determine this outcome one way or another. If the Patriots play well, they'll win. If they make a ton of mistakes, they'll lose. It's not about what Denver does. It's more about what the Patriots do or don't do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you said it perfectly. Like if you can limit your turnovers on offense, you're going to win this game. And if you stay relatively healthy during the week, I mean, they might get Matt Collins back and they might get Joshua Farmer, a defensive tackle, back. But the Broncos might get J.K. Dobbins back, a running back, which I think is big for them because their run game wasn't overly efficient. They were sort of middle of the road, and one of their best runners was their quarterback, who they no longer have. So yeah. If the Pats play a normal game, a consistent game, and Drake May does what he's consistently done, which is not really turn over the ball in the regular season, yeah, the Pats are going to go to San Francisco and play the winner of the Seahawks-Rams.
All right, there you go. The New England Patriots going to the Super Bowl. It seems to be highly likely. Mark Daniels, Read 'em in Mass Live. Thank you for the time, sir.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, there you go. Not a lot to be said. Not a lot to break down. But also not a lot to get mad about. Again, if they're searching for external motivation with haters and things of that nature.
Maybe saying Denver has a chance. Maybe that upsets people.
Well, I'm not talking about the fan base, but the defense did get, they were like, everyone's talking about the Houston defense. Well, you got your wish. No one's talking about the Denver defense anymore. People are all only talking about Stidham and that wife of his.
Yeah.
Big complainer. Complained about Hardy. So that's what's going on. So yeah, if they're depending on,
it's a big week for Kennedy. You got to give her some leeway and hope that she's making the most of this opportunity.
Yeah, if they're waiting for external hate to motivate them, this is not the week for it. Wait till the Super Bowl. There'll be plenty. No matter who you play in the Super Bowl, there'll be plenty of that. Not this week. All right, we'll be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. Present.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and we just found out that Hardy, he was innocently looking up Kennedy Stidham, Jared Stidham, who's starting for the Broncos, wife's Instagram, and he could not get on it.
Oh.
But he was like, I wonder if she took it down. And I said, that doesn't sound based on how you've described her as something that would happen.
Right.
Because I Googled her, and it said internet personality, which is always something that you want to hang your hat on. And he has just been blocked because she's still on it.
That's terrible.
Now, she doesn't have a lot of followers. She has like 122,000, which is, way more than me.
Yeah.
But if you're an internet personality and your job is to be on the internet, I would assume that you would have way more than that.
I'm still going to block it.
Looking at the engagement, it seems that a lot of those followers are probably paid for.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the engagement on my stuff is like quadruple or 5 times as much as the engagement.
Plenty. Like it's always a telltale sign. Like if you look at someone they don't have a lot of engagement, a lot of likes and replies on their posts, but they got like 100,000 followers, and they probably paid for like half those.
That does make logical sense, but I can tell you this, Hardy, what you're missing out is she was pregnant. Because I've seen more of her pregnant belly than I've seen of anyone, including when my own kids were born.
I don't want him looking at that, so I'm just going to block him. Should I block him? I'll just block him.
If you don't know, Kennedy Stidham was trying to become famous. Her husband was an NFL or is an NFL quarterback, and we went over this before. If 2 people get in a relationship that are both in media, that can be like a very good thing. I would assume there's like a lot to talk about. You're dealing with the same kind of pitfalls in the business and with the audience and everything. But if one person is in media and the other person is not, that's great too. But when the one person that's not in media immediately wants to become popular or famous based on the popularity of their spouse, that's never a good thing. In my experience, I've seen it. Through friends of mine that have had, media jobs and then have married people that all of a sudden started writing, a column about their relationship. And I went, oh, no. And then, of course, they are divorced. They still get along, but they're divorced. Like, it just is not good. It's just not a good thing. And so Hardy and the Midday Show, when he was on the Midday Show, I guess they were like making fun of Stidham's wife's Instagram. And then Jared Stidham went to Stacey James, the PR guy for the Patriots, and said, can you have the Midday Show stop making fun of Jared's wife's Instagram? To which I would say, there's an easy way not to have your Instagram made fun of. Like, if it was just her Instagram and it was, pictures of her family and it was just she was minding her own business, then you're being kind of a dick. But if someone's trying to become famous, part of that fame is being discussed. And if you're just teasing the content, I don't think you were attacking her religion or her her family or anything. I think you were just making fun of her posts. And that's sort of fair game. And there's an easy way not to have that happen, and that is just to make your post, your content private.
And I think the genesis of it, and I don't remember, but I was reminded of some of this stuff listening to Felger and Maz yesterday. It started with Jared and his presence online and on social media through her stuff. Do you remember where it started to really fall apart for him here? He had gone to a wedding in the week of either OTAs or right before training camp, and he missed time for one of these absurdly big weddings. I think they had one, and then they attended another one with 20 groomsmen and 20 bridesmaids, and they're all posting about it. And it was right around the same time. I'm where's Stidham? Isn't Jared Stidham supposed to be in camp? Competing against Cam Newton for the quarterback. And
right.
Oh no, he had a wedding to go to because Kennedy's posting all about it over Instagram, and then. I think he got injured right around the same time. People were questioning
I remember that.
And if there's one thing that's going to run afoul with Belichick is oh, you had a wedding to go? I didn't know you had a wedding. Yeah, by all means, don't come to camp. Don't come to the OTAs even. They're optional. They're the furthest thing from optional. And the last thing you do is go to one of these social events and post pictures about it while you're missing work. Even if it's optional work, you don't do that.
He was lined up. I remember the whole thing. They would interview the McCourty brothers. Oh, Stiddy, he's got control of the offense. He's going to be the guy. And then this happened. Now it's coming back to me. And then they went and got Cam Newton, and that was it.
It's funny. I have no recollection of that. But nonetheless, she told her husband, can you have these fellas stop talking about my Instagram? Which isn't wise.
Yeah,
I would think that if all you want is Instagram follows, you want people talking about your Instagram. But nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, of course, everyone knows how society works. You only get positive comments. That's what they want.
Well, that is reserved for people like with the creative itch, like the boom guys.
Right. If you put yourself out there consistently, you're only going to get positive comments.
I'll tell you, the boom guys have really delved into some very serious comedy. It's because my son spends all day sending me videos of the boom guys, and they do things like late night snack, and the kid is looking for snacks, and the dad walks by in the hall with a big tray of snacks. And at this point, I'm saying, what? Like, are there chromosomes missing? Like that's not even a conceptual joke. Like, there's nothing even in the writing or the formation of the thought that is humorous.
Well, just because you don't get it doesn't mean it's not high comedy. You're just
lip syncing to a fun Alvin and the Chipmunks song is always going to be funny. So, but I just think it's too easy because it's obvious. Like to wear like an Alvin and the Chipmunks shirt and lip sync to the song is real fun, or to have a quick choreographed dance is a lot of fun too. So those are just ideas that have already happened. And the late night snack idea I found to be very base and not very creative.
Was it a comically large tray of snacks?
Yeah, he had a lot. He has some Doritos and Ding Dongs and things, and plus he's muscular, so you know he's not really eating it. But what I'm thinking is, that one made me Google him, and the guy was a mortgage lender. And he started all this by being the muscle mortgage lender or something like that because he's muscular.
Yeah.
And he quit his job now. And to that I would say, oh, no.
Yeah, that
oh, no. Like, I can't imagine this is going to be making you money for much longer. Like, what is this going to dovetail into?
The new boom meter gets 5 big booms. Boom, boom, boom.
I mean, the kids are going to grow up. He really liked it. He did a lot of bars before the boom. But the thing is now, say he gets back into the mortgage lending business, and you're taking out this giant $1 million loan, and you're looking for rates, and you go meet the guy, and it's the boom guy. I'm like,
we're Costco guys. Of course we go shopping while eating a chicken.
Get the hell out of here. I'm not working with you. What the hell do you know about anything?
You wouldn't work with this guy?
Oh, we're so sorry to hear about your brother that passed away. He gets 5 big booms.
How about this? No. In any aspect, in anything, not one thing. I wouldn't let him babysit my kids if I had little kids. I wouldn't sit at the same table with the guy. All right. Let alone let him orchestrate a big time loan for me. All right. We have a fun game to play in just a moment.
You're listening to
98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today.
And we're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Patriots are playing in Denver. And you recall when Denver Colorado was the first state to legalize marijuana, and the funny jokes. And we've seen how society has fallen apart due to the marijuana legalization. Hell in a handbasket.
Society can barely function. Everyone's just walking around high on their marijuana.
Well,
they're taking marijuana.
Things have gotten dangerously left-leaning in this country. There's no question about it. It has gotten to the point of almost uncontrollable hippiedom in this country due to the prevalence of marijuana. And but Colorado is filled with lots and lots of bad people, hippies, bad people. And Hardy, what is the game we were going to play in honor of that?
Well, it was a wonderful setup, Fred, but we actually pivoted away from that, and we decided to do something different. It was our earlier idea having to do with Colorado.
It's time to play Mile High or Pink Eye.
Well, that was a decision that was... Oh, so we are playing Mile High or Pink Eye.
Well,
okay.
you like that?
When do we pivot to this?
Well, we have both games ready to go, so I'll just give you a name. I'll just give you a name. You have to tell me whether it's the name of an ass model or a second or third stringer from the Denver Broncos.
Okay, all right, just if you're listening at home and you'll go, oh, Fred, you idiot. How did you not know the game? Don't you have any involvement in the show? As of 10 minutes ago, the game was this hippie game. So, Mile High or Pink Eye was actually my idea. It was kind of thrown out in jest after the show yesterday.
But it's such a good idea. So if I were to say H. Somers, is that an ass model or is that a member of the Denver Broncos?
All right, well, this game,
John's not allowed to play.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is this game is unfair because I'm not overly familiar with Denver's roster, despite my seeing them play several times this year. Because I am not good with names.
Right.
I've watched Michigan State play almost all their basketball games this year, but I'm not confident I could name 7 guys by their full names on the team. So I'm not going to be good with this. Plus, I have no concern with ass. As I've made it very clear on the show in my personal life, this whole ass phenomenon is really gotten past me. I am still very firmly planted feet in the 90s.
Well, I'm just going to give
you
it
was more of a breast situation.
I'll give you the loss right off the bat here. H. Somers is Heidi Somers. She is a CrossFit turned bodybuilder from Alaska. So
now you're nodding your head. Did you really know that?
No. Okay.
I was just excited to get for some new knowledge. Yeah.
Wait, so this is Mile High or Pink Eye? Yes. So the game is what? I'm trying to pad it out a little bit.
Mile High or Pink Eye.
All right, so
super yummy.
So it's if they're a member of the Denver Broncos.
You like that?
Or if they're an ass model.
Right.
Now, what I'm trying to set up is the only reason that this game can be played is that John has this affinity for asses.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain and pad this out a little bit because I don't know if there's 10 minutes of content in this.
We're gonna go to the other game. Don't worry.
I'm just saying that John is very familiar with ass models because he loves ass.
Could you explain why Pink Eye would be associated with ass models, Fred?
I would prefer if he didn't.
Well, just fecal infection can cause pink eye.
Perfect.
All right. Well, as much fun as that would have been, we do have the original game to play.
Oh, so I was setting up the correct game.
How much has that hippie in his trust fund? How much was he left in the will? How much does that hippie spend on concerts? I do hope that hippie gets killed. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Peace and love. Peace and love.
That's right. We don't want anyone to suffer any misfortune as a result of being a hippie. Instead, we're just going to talk about various hippies, whether they have a connection to Colorado or not, and it is your job to guess what is their celebrity net worth. As flawed as that estimate might be, we're going to take it for granted that these numbers are somewhat accurate.
Because, again, hippies are a lot of people lump Generation X in with baby boomers, which is completely unfair. Baby boomers were raised on this whole social progress and non-material. This was pumped into us, that how brilliant that generation was. And it turns out the very people with this message have lived lives completely, couldn't be more opposite to that, much to the detriment of the world. But nonetheless, all right, let's play the game.
All right, here we go. Let's start with one that actually couldn't be further from Colorado. In fact, it's much closer to home. Both Ben and Jerry, Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield of Ben and Jerry's. Famously hippie-like tie-dyed T-shirts, wavy gravy. They even have
fish food
ice cream flavor. Celebrity net worth, not combined, just each of them worth. How much would you guess?
Well, I mean, they've had to keep it DIY and they keep the prices low. I mean, obviously they have this set of ideals. They're working with farmers in Vermont and getting their dairy from them, so it can't be cheap. I'd have to imagine operating expenses compared to a Breyers or something like that have to be astronomical. So I'm guessing, but it's been a successful business. Let's not kid ourselves. So I'm going to guess, factoring in all the philanthropy and things of that nature, net worth of $8 million. Right? Because that's a very comfortable amount to live off of. I wouldn't think that they would have needed to make any more than that.
And not ostentatious. I think that's
no, $8 million you're living off, 4 or 5% of that a year. That's a good yearly salary to give yourself without touching the base of your income.
Well, having been to the worldwide headquarters of Ben & Jerry's in Vermont and seeing there's really not all that much to it. They really haven't spent a lot of money to showcase their product.
Well, no, they spend it on agriculture and the farmers and keeping things, very roots, as is the way, rusted root.
Yeah.
See, maybe I think they're saving all of the money to keep for themselves by not spending a lot.
Well, that would be antithetical to the hippie part of it.
Just come up with a number, John.
$15 million.
Oh, gentlemen, he's really off on this one. 100.
Distanced himself further from that whole ideal. He did not like the idea of mixtapes. He didn't like the idea of free music. He right away he was like, I don't like to be associated with this scene. It's like Christian rock bands. You can find stuff from Garcia talking in '69 about how he didn't like being associated because there was this whole notion of giving away your music for free. Music is for the people. And as soon as that band capitalized and got what they wanted, he started going, no, not me.
Well, let's
phony.
Let's pivot to a member of the Grateful Dead, Mickey Hart, percussionist.
Well, there's two drummers, so they split it equally, I'd imagine.
Okay.
Grateful Dead necessary to have two drummers.
That's
of
right,
course.
and the wall of drums behind them. They have all kinds of stuff going on back
16 Neil Peart kicks between the two of them.
Mickey Hart, drummer from the Grateful Dead, estimated celebrity net worth.
Well, he did our friend Tori Champagne's basketball documentary soundtrack, and that in itself had to pay at least $40,000. Mickey Hart, not a songwriter, $7 million.
No, gonna be a lot higher. I say $50 million.
$50 million, right on there, John Wallach. But you hear the drums going on here, and you figure worth every penny.
So no publisher. But when Jerry died, they stopped touring. Oh, no, that's right. They didn't. They toured with John Mayer.
It's the same story.
Just. And this is like one of their famous songs.
Rhythm with each other. I mean, what?
Yeah, it's good.
It's objectively terrible. And if they weren't such an iconic band, it wouldn't bother me at all. It's that so many millions of people pretend to like that. That's what's mystifying to me. Take away the hippie stuff. Take away everything, as much as that bothers me. that music sucks. Like, it objectively sucks. So there's no way you're listening to that because you like it. You're listening to that because it represents something very womb-like to you. A total lack of threat.
Let's go to another famous hippie here, and that would be 88-year-old Chris Blackwell. Jamaican-born.
No, he's a fashion designer.
No.
He always
Fashion critic.
Yeah, he's always
Right.
Well, I got to figure he's from the industry. He's always digging on Mr. Blackwell.
Yeah.
He's no hippie. He's a very buttoned-up guy.
Co-founder of Island Records, Jamaican influences.
Is he a white Jamaican from like the 60s and 70s where that government was very oppressive and needed to be overthrown?
The British Jamaican. Yes,
Oh, yeah, so he is a conqueror.
He is a white.
Okay. So he is someone who has
But,
pretty much used used that culture for his own. But you got to figure he gave a lot of it back.
Indie label, visionary, just a guy who's always got his toes digging in the sand. Chris Blackwell, what do you think he's worth?
Island Records, I'm going to make a legitimate guess at $75 million.
I say higher, 150.
How about $300 million?
Isn't it funny that Mickey Hart was in a band that was active for 60 years, but this Island Records guy has got triple the money that he does?
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Is that something that is actually...
That's a drum circle
right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, listen, at least you
right.
learn the rudiments.
Now, we cannot separate ourselves entirely from the baby boomer hippie culture because there was a ban that was forced upon Gen X, although I don't know that she meets the criteria based on age. Edie Brickell of Edie Brickell and New Bohemia.
Well, she's married to Paul. You little hooker.
What's Edie Brickell worth?
Well, does it combine Paul Simon's, or is what Paul Simon's worth, or is what she's owed?
I think she might be getting a little piece of the Paul Simon estate in here.
This number is of no consequence to me because Edie Brickell doesn't have any money from making music.
Okay, so let's say there's just something on a piece of paper somewhere that said at the very least you get X amount if things don't work out with Paul. What is that amount?
$50 million.
That is spot on.
Yeah. That seems like if Paul Simon's worth $250 million, you get $50 million.
Yeah.
You get a fifth of what I'm worth.
How old is Edie Brickell now?
Well, she's older than me, so I'm guessing she's 62.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if she technically falls into Gen X. I mean, like I said, it was forced.
No, that seems a little older.
She's 59.
Oh, my God.
She's Gen X.
Oh. Well, listen, part of the reason I hated hippies so much growing up is because I could never understand why my contemporaries were mimicking a culture that was our parents' culture, and was so forced upon us. If you were of a millennial or a Gen Z, you don't understand. You really don't understand how self-aggrandizing those people were. Like Woodstock was this like you'll never understand Woodstock. You'll never understand. Well, you weren't there, stupid. But you were at a cow pasture watching Cha-Na-Na. Congratulations. I'll never be able to understand it.
Yeah.
Sadly, we were not at the original Woodstock, Fred, but there are people who embody the spirit and the culture and the vibe, and I think there probably is no better example than Trey Anastasio from the band Fish.
Oh, Jesus. $200 million?
I would have thought much higher myself. $85 million.
I don't believe that for a second. They could play Madison. They could do a residency at Madison Square Garden for 3 months, 5 days a week for 3 months, and sell that thing out.
Well,
and 15 of my quote-unquote friends would be in the audience as well.
Adam and Ryan
out of 20 friends
put together a great list of Trustafarians. Some of that I'm going to give Irsay a pass because
he took enough abuse from his dad to deserve every dollar he got.
And he topped the list with a net worth at $5 billion at the time of his death. But the next highest on
and he was
list,
like a power lifter and stuff. That's a very loose hippie thing.
Yeah,
he likes Russian stuff like that. I don't he's not a hippie.
If you're talking actual modern day hippies. Oh, sorry. You changed the screen on me at the last second. Dave Matthews is second on the list right now. Now, he's nowhere near Jim Irsay, but he eclipses everyone else on our list today.
Do you want a hot take? Dave Matthews has done nothing wrong. Dave Matthews has done nothing wring.
Well,
he has not represented himself in any way. In any way, he just made a band that's just kind of vanilla, and everything happened. It seems like out of his control.
If you dance on stage barefoot, you've done something wrong.
He's got a point.
It's a good take.
Yeah.
He's friends with Adam Sandler. How bad a guy could he be? Dave Matthews is worth $200 million.
Higher. $500 million.
$350 million.
How is that possible?
Because he spent his entire career not upsetting everyone and taking in their money.
No. But if Fish, do they generate more tour revenue than Fish?
Maybe, but it's that they sold more records. They had
No, I know that, but so that hasn't been a factor for 20 years.
Yeah, but when they were big, it was a big factor. So I can guarantee you that a lot of that money comes from record sales and royalties. And then in addition to that, he also, anytime he wants to get on the road, is going to sell every place out he goes to.
But that's a lot more money than Fish. I don't understand the music industry, man. I need better representation.
Well, Dave Matthews also had mainstream success where Fish did not.
Yeah.
So he gets to kind of have the best of both worlds.
Because they kept it.
Yeah, they kept it underground.
They kept the shows.
Yeah.
They kept the shows cheap and at accessible venues.
Right. And
church basements and the like.
And following the footsteps of the Grateful Dead, they kept the music exciting.
Too good. Keep it real grandpa sounding.
Talk more than sing.
Yeah. And real old sounding. Give me that sound, Jerry. Not old. Matthews. So I'm speaking from the heart. All right. We will be back. Chris Forsberg will be joining us. All right, Adam. You wanted to break.
Toucher.
longer that I've been one of the better players in this game. Now I've got an opportunity.
Celtics for NBC Sports Boston. Chrissy Forsberg, hello, sir.
Good morning, friends. What's going on?
Well, the Patriots keep winning, so you keep getting moved to Zoom for just these one breaks.
The sleep schedule has been good for January, but I miss you guys. Like, Hardy, when do you leave for your cruise?
Fly out Saturday. We disembark. Is that no? That's when you get off the boat.
Yeah. Embark.
We set sail on Sunday.
There you go.
This storm gonna mess with you at all? Where are you embarking out of? Is it lovely Florida?
Tampa. Is there a storm?
Yeah. There's like something moving across the south.
Oh,
that's
God. Oh, God.
Yeah, ice storm. Don't worry. I'm sure it'll be nothing.
All right.
What's the weather supposed to be like in Tampa? Is it even supposed to be warm? It can get pretty cool in Tampa. I mean, it snowed when I was at Rollins one year, and Rollins is in Orlando.
Well, I'm really looking forward to the 24 hours I spend in Tampa before we actually get on the boat, because we all know that is the place you want to go.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
It's going to be 82 degrees and mostly sunny on Saturday.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, you lucked out because it can get cool there. Right now it's 54 degrees there, which is, that is no balmy situation.
No.
All right, Chris Forsberg, look, it really seems like the East might come down to the Pistons and the Celtics, and the Celtics might have Tatum back. They're very much in the conversation right now, are they not?
Yeah, and look, even I usually lose my mind after losses, especially close losses. But I thought that was a really fun playoff atmosphere game the other night. And you do start thinking about, I think both teams will make some tweaks. I think the Pistons will add some shooting, which is what they need to be a true contender. And I think the Celtics will explore the big man market. And regardless of that pans out, but even if you're just adding Tatum along the way, I think these two teams have clearly distinguished themselves as the best in the Eastern Conference right now. And as the Knicks sort of fall apart and as the Cavs continue to struggle to figure out what they are, you feel pretty good about it. And so, yeah, they're playing the Pacers tonight for what feels like the 700th time. And I'm sick of watching these two teams. But, the Pistons and Celtics have played 4 times now, and I don't get sick of it. I yearn for a series in May, and I hope we get that because that's a fun basketball team to watch. I love how physical they are, and we'll see if the Celtics can get to a point where they match that physicality well.
It was really fun watching them the other night, and essentially, a close game throughout the entire thing, but also keeping in the back of my mind as much fun as it is, and I'm with you, Chris, because still, getting to know Cade Cunningham and, getting to know this team that's been rising in the East now for a couple of years, but to think in the back of my mind, when Tatum comes back, this is going to be different. I don't know. But I also don't think that automatically gives the Celtics an edge where they're going to jump out to a 8-point lead and maintain it against a team like the Pistons for the whole night. I'm with you. I think a 7-game series against that team would be wildly entertaining.
Yeah, and look, in the big picture, the Tatum thing is going to be fascinating. I think, you're going to trade cautiously with him, although there have been instances, guy down in Miami, Drew Smith, who's playing every night and back-to-backs. I don't think they're going to do that with Tatum, but I think what they'll do is they'll bring him back and ease him in. But even a few minutes a night of Tatum is going to take a lot of stress off what has ailed you in various spots this season. So you've already got the second-ranked offense, and there'll be some reintegration, not issues, but just like with anything, you're adding a superstar player back and you got to figure that out. And once they do that, I wonder if there's a whole nother kind of level they can go to and where that puts them. You still have some longer term stuff like the big man spot. You still have to figure out if exactly who you're leaning on, and can you be that they've been better rebounding the basketball? Can you do that in the playoffs against a team like the Pistons? But yeah, I just think they're in a really good spot. I think a lot of the questions we came into the year, and I hate to be overly optimistic, but there was a ton of questions around this team after all those changes, and here we are 41 games in, midway point, and you feel pretty good about what you've seen and the fact that there's still a place for this to go and for them to grow.
When is Tatum coming back? We ask you that like every other time you're on with us, but we all just saw, whatever it was, a 30 or 45-minute workout video with Tatum right in front of everyone before their last game. That was very calculated by Tatum to kind of announce, I'm pretty much ready to go here. He's ready to put pressure on the team to bring him back. So it seems that, all the rumors were, March. It seems like it's going to be sooner than that.
Yeah, so my conspiracy theory has always been that because he's dropped little breadcrumbs, right? He said he had circled a date. And in my mind, just doing the timeline from when he had the surgery and when it kind of like projected, I sort of thought he circled his birthday. So you start looking around there. There's a game against Charlotte. Again, like he said he's wanted to come back at home. So the next clue you're looking at is like, what is the best game around that mid-February, early March timeline? And maybe that is, Charlotte, there would be some allure based on guys back at Duke could watch him and all that. But I just think he's been so far ahead of schedule that I thought it was pushing more towards February. Now, look, again, this is like fluid, right? Like he's rehabbing, he's going to do all this stuff. They're going to put him on all these machines and check it and make sure he's using the right force on both legs and that there's no chance of not even re-aggravating the injury, but just like overcompensating and all that. But, you start looking at the February schedule, and it's weird because they come out of the All-Star break, which is something you'd probably like to give him to just a few more extra days of rest and then kind of like launch after that. But they start on the road, and he has made it very clear he wants that first game to be at home. Now, maybe he'll just be like, I don't want to wait. I just want to do this.
Why? For the reception?
Yeah, I think he wants that moment, right? Like a little bit of a celebration of like, this has been a grind. It's he's worked hard to get back out there.
Doesn't that seem weird that you are making all this money, you're playing basketball, this is your lifelong passion, you're coming off of a severe injury, and you're dictating that this has to happen at a certain place rather than at a certain time?
I wonder if it'll change, right? Because like if so let's just say
really obviously self-serving. It just seems like something you wouldn't say publicly.
Yeah, I think
out. I wouldn't want that out if that's what I thought.
Well, I think what it is, and not to give him an out here, but when you're 2 or 3 months into the rehab and you're daydreaming about what that return will look like, maybe you think, I definitely want to do this at home. I want to have that moment with the fans.
No, I understand wanting that. I just don't understand expressing that. Well, I understand that you would daydream about that. We all would. But there's a big difference between daydreaming about it and then letting people know you're daydreaming about it.
But that's what I'm saying. I wonder if it flips. I wonder if because the Celtics open on the road coming out of the break, if that was his timeline, if that's like the go time, if he'd be like, yeah, I really wanted to do this at home, but I've been waiting 9 months to play basketball. I'm just going to go now. And like that little daydream vanishes.
I'd probably be more comfortable getting a game or two under my belt to make sure I'd show out correctly for the home fans. No,
it just seems like adore me. Like I want to do this at home, so I will be adored. That seems.
You understand professional athletes, right? Like some stuff is completely irrational.
Yeah, no, and I understand why you'd want that. Like, right? Like everyone wants to have a big to-do made about them. But Chris, I just don't know about letting anyone know. Maybe I would let the person closest to me know. But other than that, I would not want this discussed.
The one thing I will say, so you start looking at February, and because of the All-Star break, it does get, but let's just say he does want to debut at home. And let's just say he's moving closer. And let's just say the football team that keeps eliminating my second segment is in the Super Bowl. The Celtics play the Knicks on Super Bowl Sunday. Again, they're not going to rush it, but if he's at a point, wouldn't that be just like the craziest day? He's the appetizer before the football team plays. And again, like
not one person, but outside of you, would have any concern that he was playing in that day. If the Patriots are in the Super Bowl,
you know what it's like. The pregame goes on for 6 hours. It's nothing but Super Bowl that day.
Yeah, that's not. If I want attention, that's not the day I want.
That's the last day you do anything if you want attention, other than something having to do.
That's like a bad news dump day.
In Boston, it used to be a big deal. The Celtics would play the Lakers at 12:30 at the Garden, and then the Super Bowl would be that night. Now the Patriots weren't there, but that used to be.
I don't doubt that there are games. That's not the debate.
Yeah, and
I know they're playing the game.
And I think if you go back 25 years ago, but the NFL has morphed into this thing now where it just takes over. that entire weekend, the week leading up to it.
When the Patriots are in the
is.
Super Bowl, the day of the Super Bowl, there's going to be a bit of I think that the focus might be solely on the Patriots having an opportunity to win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
In the world of sports.
Right.
All you dream crushers.
Well,
let us live.
I don't know how that affects your dreams. I don't know. I'm just.
Well, it affects his daydreams.
No, my dream happens next week. Rob Williams is in town, and he better be playing.
Oh God.
Well, you're pushing for them to. There's rumors of them acquiring Rob Williams, getting him back.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's more of a summer thing when you could potentially get him at a more bargain number. But I do wonder if they can't find anybody else on the market, and if things were to line up, if they would be intrigued by that. Certainly, I will. Every time I see Mr. Chisholm and Mr. Stevens, I will be reminding them that would be great for my business.
Do you do that? Do you ever talk to them about Rob Williams?
I think they're aware in general of the affinity for Rob, and I certainly don't think that for 1 second they would even think about that when they were trying to build a basketball team. But look, I think it would be I think everybody around here would know if that happens, whether it's this summer or any time in the future, it'll be a big moment in the Forsberg household, and I will be completely even more insufferable than I already am on television and radio, and you all should just brace for that.
Tough to imagine.
I know.
Don't listen to Hardy. Keep your daydreams.
He's bitter. You know why he's mad? Because he's going to go on this cruise. Like, hopefully the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. Because I as much as I like Joe,
well, it looks to be that way. I got news for you.
I know, and that's great. And do I get bumped even on the bye week? Like, what is there a week between?
No. The bye week, you're in for two segments. There's not enough to talk about for 2 weeks straight. Yes, the bye week, you'll be in for 2 segments.
This segment bumping is really affecting you. That's the third mention of it.
Well, this is his big chance to shine. You get recognized for this show as much as anything else, I would imagine. I'm not. Gorman said he did.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like I will say it is very warming. I have a lot of people who text message me when they hear my voice on the radio, and sometimes I go, I'm on TV.
Well, you get to be yourself here. You get to talk about things. People rip on the show and they're like, you did talk about sports. Well, ask Gorman. Ask these people that come on the show and they're allowed to explore other aspects of their personality, what that does for them publicly. People get to know Chris Forsberg, not just the basketball analyst, but you as a person. They get to know your interests, your lifestyle. They get to know you, Chris, which is the most valuable commodity that you have as a personality. You.
100%.
Kaboom.
And then when I'm walking through the supermarket, people go, Breeze Airlines, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, people know that you're a very cheap guy. They know that, and then that is endearing to them. Well, Chris, next week, the week after, we'll have you in studio. It will be a whole situation, and that will I can't look forward to it enough. Maybe next week, I don't know.
Will you be back from your Everclear, whatever you're doing, boat of fun?
Of course I will. So I would push for your return to the in studio 2 segment appearance to be the week that I am back, and that is the week right before the Super Bowl.
Right, just like Tatum.
2 weeks from today.
Right.
I might come in. I might be there super early. I'll be so excited.
Yeah, you guys can talk about golf and everything else. All right. Thank you, Christopher.
Later, y'all.
All right. Very good. We will be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots and
Okay?
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
For them. Hearing that Bo Nix news, boy, talk about a game crushing for both sides. You got Buffalo, who turned around and fired their coach. And, when he got fired, we were talking about it on the air, and I'm like, this is unbelievable. There's 10 jobs changing hands this year. Salah's one of the 3 guys to get a job. The other guy's a failed coach at BC. And
a lot of people think he's going to fail spectacularly. You know who's a fan of Jeff Hafley getting the Miami job? Bert. Bert thinks that's a good move for them.
Bert knows a lot of insiders and things, but Bert, sometimes his predictions can run afoul of what actually happens. He's very well informed and all that, and I love having Bert on, and I like Bert a lot. But he's told me, picks that the Jets have had from Ohio State were going to be good, and they turned out to be not just not good, but total bust. He's, his game predictions sometimes can be kind of off the mark. He's very good for information, not so much for prediction.
He thinks that because the new GM of the Dolphins is from Green Bay, they have that connection, and that Green Bay's very good at building a program. So they're going to strip down Miami to the studs and try and rebuild it back with those 2 guys.
Look, it might work, and what do I know? I don't know if it will or not. Obviously, I don't know anything about the guy. I have season tickets to BC. I saw him coach at BC, and they're better with him than they were with O'Brien, so that's fair. But look, all I know is with 10 job openings, Harbaugh gets the Giants job. He's got great bona fides, right? So that's a coach that maybe you make a coaching change for.
Yep.
And that even is debatable because has he done enough with all that talent? So, but let's just say Harbaugh's got great bona fides. The idea that the next 2 guys off the market are a guy that coached BC to mediocrity, and he left that job for the Green Bay job, right? I don't think they fired him. I think he left.
I don't remember, to be honest with you. I think it was 6 of one, half dozen the other. He was on his way out because he was happy to get rid of him.
Yeah, I don't think they fired him. And then Saleh is the other guy. And by the way, a lot of people are all over this Saleh hiring being fantastic. And you'll recall he coached the Jets team that people were predicting to win the AFC to 5 games. So let's not get tripping all over ourselves. Now, look, I don't know Saleh. Everyone who knows him seems to think he's a buttoned-up guy. He's a good guy. Kendra babysat for him. Mm-hmm. All around, people say Saleh's a good guy, but he was a terrible coach for the Jets. And terrible, too. Not good. It wasn't things were happening beyond him. And I read something they didn't have a quarterback. They had Aaron Rodgers. Now, he was terrible, but he somehow managed to sneak into the playoffs with Pittsburgh. He could only win 5 games with him.
And I'm sorry, babysitting for somebody is not as much of an endorsement as he babysat for me.
Well, I think
if Robert Saleh were the babysitter, then I would say, that's a huge character component.
Well, he has 8 kids, and I guess Kendra babysat for him, and he didn't have to be nice to her, and he was very nice to her.
Okay.
I really do take these things into consideration. If someone says I dealt with the guy, and he was a dick, Belichick, then I'm interesting. Mm-hmm. But if someone says I dealt with him and he didn't have to be nice to me and he was nice to me, I do take that as a sign of character.
I don't want Saleh in charge of the overall #1 draft pick I'm basing my future on.
So my point is this, is that, yeah, I know, and that offensive mind that's
so good at shepherding quarterbacks to success.
Yeah, exactly.
The defensive mind that
you saw what he did with Zach Wilson. It was and he was part of that decision-making process, too, so good for him.
Yeah. He had more than just a little bit to say about that.
Yeah, I'd imagine he was in the room when the pick was made. So
here's Cam Ward. Good luck.
Anyway, now there's 7 more openings, and they've already delved into the Salehs and ex-BC coaches of the world. So all I'm saying is be careful what you wish for, Buffalo.
So apparently there's a slew of interviews the Bills have today. Today's the day they start interviewing people. They're going to give an interview to Joe Brady, their offense coordinator, and Dayball is going back, and he's going to interview for them today as well.
You know what? Dayball, at least to me, is somewhat of a at least
he can do the job,
right?
I don't know if he's great at it, but I think he's probably good at it, and he can do it.
He was bad. He was a bad coach for the Giants, but you remember he was coach of the year and got them into the playoffs his first year. So he's better than Saleh in just results. And I don't even remember who was the quarterback for the Giants back then.
So Buffalo is going to interview Anthony Lynn for their head coaching job. That failed, terrible head coach of the Chargers. That the Patriots went there with Cam Newton and blew him out by 7 touchdowns. And the Jaguars' offensive coordinator. So those 4 or 5 are at the top of the list of stars.
See, so as little Jaguars had a good offense, Trevor Lawrence seemed to, have a breakout year for him. So maybe that guy, again, you don't know him, you're not interviewing him. If he interviews well, at least there's the shot. Everyone needs their first shot, right? Robert Saleh and the ex-coach of BC, not inspiring, a great deal. And there's 7 jobs still to go.
It's amazing.
There's 7 jobs still open.
The talent pool, we said this multiple times, the talent pool is so thin.
For 32 jobs, the talent pool being so thin.
It is.
And think of all the crap coaches that are still currently employed.
So the thing is, if Josh McDaniels didn't have the scarlet letter on him.
Oh, yeah.
He would get how many interviews this time around? Considering what he's done with Drake May?
I'm not positive. I just don't interview him anyway. I don't know if I hire him, but I'm not positive I don't interview him. If I was Miami, I would have interviewed him just to see if
can you rescue our quarterback,
or can I get him away from the Patriots just by subtraction? Maybe I win another divisional game.
But yeah, I mean, Josh McDaniels would have like 7 interviews if he didn't have this thing on him.
Well, at least that's because he was a bad head coach. Belichick's the more interesting thing because he would have 7 interviews if he wasn't a huge dick, and that's the problem with him. Like, at least McDaniels has failed.
It's true.
I would find it easier to be Josh McDaniels and go, I gave it my best shot. I had 2 shots at it. I'm a great offensive coordinator. This is just what I am. Worst things in the world to be. I had my shot. Then to be Belichick and say I was the best at something and I can't get another shot because of my own actions. Not I failed at it because I couldn't do it.
Right.
But I failed, and I'm not getting these opportunities because of my own personal failings. And it's not like alcoholism or like something like that where you can like quit. It's like he's just a dick who's making horrible decisions all over the place and has no inclination to course correct at all.
Yeah, fundamentally flawed at a root character base level,
like Shakespearean levels. Like horribleness,
personality to the people he surrounded himself with, the whole thing.
I mean,
it's not just bad breath.
Robert Saleh, yeah, exactly. Robert Saleh's walking in, getting introduced as a head coach of a team, and Belichick's coaching in the ACC and barely getting by. That's a lesson for you people. That's a lesson. A lot can be accomplished just by not being a huge dick to the people around you. All right, Darren McKee will join us in just a moment.
You're listening to
kind enough to join us. As I appreciate it, there's a man in studio, John Wallach, who I think unfairly is angry at Darren McKee every time we have him on.
I heard that update. It was terrible.
I forgot you guys had beef.
So did I. I knew we'd had him on, but I forgot we had beef too. That's right.
That's right. It's been a while since Denver and Boston have crossed paths, and it's great that it has again because we can bring our friend Darren McKee. He is now the co-host of Columbus, Hastings, and DMAC, noon to 3 on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5 in Denver. He's a survivor, a radio survivor, and his name is Darren McKee. Hi, Darren.
What's up, boys? Yeah, Wallach, I got fired. That must have been a great day in your life when I lost my job. I had to find another one.
Darren, I didn't notice. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
John was. Don't let him. He's all over the industry things. He was charting it. He had Google alerts. He was like,
I threw darts at your picture every day.
He was like, this McKee guy. He ain't long for this job. Let me just say that he's very cryptic.
If anybody thought Wallach would have a job longer than I did, would be making millions if you bet on that. But
congratulations.
Well, listen, he's third chair, Darren.
I'm a winner, damn it.
He's not carrying anything. Don't worry.
Just before we get into the game stuff, the station you're on now, Darren, the lineup is fascinating. They've got a guy who's solo 6 to 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And the morning show is 7 to 10.
Yeah.
A 10 to noon show, noon to 3. I mean, I like it just from, the standpoint of, you only
spread the money around.
Radio well, you only paying people?
Not only that, but you only have to work 2 or 3 hours as opposed to everybody working a 4-hour shift. That's not bad.
No one has a full-time job. It sounds great.
Well, the guy on from 6 to 7 actually continues. He goes on, and the guys on from 7 to 10 work for the Nuggets and for the Avalanche. We're all owned by Kroenke, who owns the Nuggets and the Avs and Ball Arena and all that. We're kind of pulling secretly for the Walmart Bowl with our ownership and the Rams out there. That would be the ideal situation, I suppose, for our company.
Yeah, I mean, then you got to be very careful with what you say. Both teams are winning. I understand. But so was the guy, the 6 to 7 guy, he wants the solo show, or the other guys work late?
Oh yeah. He hates the other guys, of course. He doesn't want to be. What do you think? He loves his solo show. Why would he want to be on with anybody else?
Oh, I'd hate to do a solo show. I wouldn't like that at all.
Well, do you hate your coworkers or not?
Not anymore.
It worked out.
Well, very good. All right. Well, Darren.
That's officially fun.
Stop it. That's not right.
All right. Well, very good. Darren, it's very exciting. So Denver wins the AFC or the divisional round in a classic against the Bills, and we can get into how you think that game went. But then I'll tell you how I found out. So I'm watching the game with friends. I just like to say I was with friends. And so guy at the table goes, right, and it's very rare for me. So a guy at the table goes, what's his name? Broke his ankle. And
what's his name?
Yeah, what's his name? Broke his ankle.
What's his head?
And I'm like, he's like, Tom Pelissero said it, and I said, is that really Tom Pelissero's account? Bo Nix, obviously. Is it really Pelissero's account?
Right.
And sure enough, it's true. That's a real whiplash thing. Like that. Like, he took the knee. He was celebrating after the game.
Can we still enjoy this for longer than 5 minutes?
Yeah, I can't remember a 180 like at the end of a game of that much importance in a long time.
How has this week been for you so far?
It's all right because the Broncos are going to beat the Patriots with Jarrett Stidham. So, I don't know how they're going to do in the Super Bowl.
Right.
But Stiddy's going to get over on Josh and the Patriots. That's not going to be the issue. How they finish things off will be maybe of a bigger concern. But it's really who you're playing, who the Patriots are playing is the Broncos defense. It's not Jarrett Stidham.
But you got to be completely unfamiliar with Stidham.
Well,
that's not fair.
Yeah, how do you know that Stiggy is going to get over on the Patriots? How do you know anything about him?
Yeah, you don't, Darren. I mean, this is all. So what you're saying, I realize you're playing it up a little bit, but what you're saying is that the Denvers are more than just a collection of parts. That they are 3 solid units of football team, and that the quarterback is but a mere cog in the wheel.
That tends to be the way the NFL is. It's dink and dunk with the
That's
offense.
right. No elite quarterback play is responsible for winning.
You tell me about the elite quarterback play from Drake May and the Patriots in the playoffs so far.
That is true. He has not been.
How are those slants going? How are those fumbles going?
Well,
How's
he's had a lot of them.
But he has. But Drake May, in fairness, has soundly, as bad as he's played comparatively to the regular season, he soundly outplayed the other quarterbacks. So, I mean, like Drake May didn't play great.
You played a one-handed Justin Herbert, and then you played C.J. Stroud, who Wallach would have been a better option than C.J. Stroud.
In that game, certainly, but Stidham is, again, if this was
taken away from the Patriots defense, which has been pretty good.
But listen, if Bo Nix was playing, I will try to correct. If Bo Nix was playing, I actually would like Denver in this game. But Stidham is not an NFL starting quarterback. The NFL relies on starting quarterbacks more than anything. You look no further than the Houston game,
and not
the Houston
not
Patriot
better than
game.
Herbert, and not better than Stroud. So,
he'll probably play better than Stroud.
I mean, how do you?
He'll play better than Stroud
because he hasn't thrown a pass in 2 years for good reason.
Well, but he's practiced.
Not with the first team.
Against guys like me. That's who you practiced with.
I mean,
what are you putting down the scout team practicing? You think that's less than? I don't know. Listen, I am being a little facetious. Obviously, we're very concerned about.
No, but I am being serious. Like, I'm not playing. Obviously, I wasn't playing radio. I honestly want to know, like, what has it been like this week? It's got to be fascinating to talk to these fans. What a terrible blow.
It's not as bad as you think it would be, because we are actually familiar with Stidham, believe it or not. And I get it. It's a small sample size, and it's 3 training camps and all that. First of all, he's incredibly good looking. Just take a gander at him.
But his wife is a problem. His wife got the Patriots had to tell Hardy, who's my co-host now, when he was doing middays, to stop talking about Stidham's wife because she had this big social media situation and they were making fun of her, and Stidham did not like that.
That's interesting. She still does that, by the way.
She's
still pretty.
She blocked Hardy, but not me.
Yeah, I'm blocked.
Did she really?
Yeah, like within the last 2 days.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Well, it's just more or less saying what she says. Like, you have to look at this lake house, and we're gonna give you a tour, and we're gonna show you all around, and it's fire. And it got Jared in trouble. Essentially back during his Patriots days because they were going off. They were going to weddings. They were doing stuff. He was missing practices or missed one. If you miss one practice, even an OTA under Belichick, you get thrown under the bus. And we maybe unfairly attributed it to his girlfriend or wife or whatever she was at the time dragging him off into these social situations, but she didn't care for that, and then we got a talking to, and now I'm blocked. So
all right, well, I'll tell you what. I mean, they just had a kid, and that just happened actually recently, and he's valuable enough to be one of the highest paid backup quarterbacks out there. He's valuable enough to have ex-teammates like, Richie Incognito and Max Crosby, who he's with the Raiders, say really good things about him. I mean, he's like that. But listen, I'll tell you this.
You want Incognito. That's the reference.
That's just the guy.
Yeah, that's the guy I don't need testifying for me.
Universally loved Richie Incognito.
Character reference.
Yeah, I don't need him as a character reference. Go ahead.
But I'm just saying, listen, if it has to be a come-from-behind situation, fine. But you're going to see a pretty conservative game plan. You're probably from both teams, frankly, because the Patriots and Josh McDaniels who's hated, by the way, here in Denver. I know everybody in Massachusetts loves him, but Josh McDaniels.
Well, he hasn't failed here. Right. He's failed in Denver.
That is great. But the Patriots have failed here. They're 0-4.
That is true.
They've never won in the playoffs.
They have not.
I mean, even Josh McDaniels beat Bill Belichick back in the day when he was coaching the Broncos.
Remember that celebration?
Yeah, he's still celebrating.
Yeah. That was the whole thing. He was dressed just like him. Yeah,
he's got his sleeves pulled up. He's pumping his fists. He goes 6-0 and becomes the first head coach ever to have a 6-0 team not make the playoffs. Those were the halcyon days of Josh McDaniels. You think somebody gives him a fourth shot at ruining a franchise as a head coach?
We were just talking about that. Based on who's being hired, I don't know if I wouldn't give him.
Can you imagine, Darren, we were talking about this. Can you imagine if the talent pool was, because the talent pool is so thin, if he didn't have that scarlet letter on him, how many interviews he'd get this coaching cycle?
I mean, rightfully so. What he's done as the offensive coordinator for the Patriots is unreal, right? I mean, but that dude is not equipped to be a head coach.
Well, that's obvious. That's true. And maybe if he wasn't so insistent in taking jobs and then bailing out on them, he had a real attitude back in the day. Which made it kind of nice when he failed because he had quite a little toot on him.
We don't have to spend any more time talking about Josh McDaniels, but the fact that he was in on the Colts, they had the microphone set up at the press conference. They left him standing at the altar, especially now when you've got a coaching cycle like we have right now, and time is of the essence. If you get your guy, you got to get that guy because other guys are coming off the board. If there's even a chance, like a thought, that if you bring someone in, he's going to do that to you, you can't even consider him. So I think for that reason alone, he's going to be off a lot of people's lists for a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, the failures of Josh McDaniels make us all smile. I mean, we have Nathaniel Hackett to crack on here, too. But, it's been a road. But I'll tell you this, Sean Payton. See, I got the Walmart bowl in my head. Sean Payton's been fabulous. He does love Jarrett Stidham, guys. He does. I mean, they did pay him a good chunk of change to be a backup. So there's a reason. And his backup is Sam Ehlinger, which you never know how the game's going to go, right? So don't.
Why do I recognize that name?
Colts.
Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Colts too. Right.
Colts. He actually started a game or two for the Colts and was abysmal. So, it was not good.
I recognize
Yeah, but
the name.
check this out. He had a chance, Sam Ehlinger, I'm going deep here. He had a chance to be on the active roster for a couple teams this year and turned it down to be on the Broncos practice squad. So they've elevated him a couple times to make the money worth it. But, listen, man, it's all about Bo here. We're bummed for Bo. We love Bo Nix here in Colorado. But to think that, like, we think or the Broncos think this is just a wrap because Bo ain't here is just not the truth. Not whatsoever, because
you have a very naive fan base and a homery situation happening.
Well, it is legal out here. Very legal.
Oh, you can't make legalized weed jokes.
Oh, you can't? You're not allowed?
No, it's just because it's legal everywhere now.
That's true.
It's no longer unique to Colorado.
But I understand what you kind of said from the outset, Darren. It's been about the defense for the Broncos all season long, and the Patriots defense has obviously won them here a couple of games recently. So in terms of the best defense that Denver faced this season, who was it, and how did they fare against that when Bo Nix was in at quarterback?
Well, it was Houston, and they beat them in Houston. That's what it was. And you saw it for yourselves. You saw what that defense is all about. And the Broncos defense is right behind the Texans. It's right there. But the key for the Broncos has been their offensive line, to be quite honest with you. Bo Nix, they're the least sacked team. They put two guys, first team All-Pro, Garrett Bowles and Quinn Miners, from their offensive line. It's been like that. So protection of Bo Nix. The running game for the Broncos ain't great. They lost J.K. Dobbins, who might.
Yeah, what are you hearing about that?
He was practicing on a side field, not with the team, but on a side field last week. He could return if he's healthy enough off of IR. He's told people that he'd be ready before the Super Bowl. I mean, this is it. This is before the Super Bowl. This is the only one. So we don't know for sure. We'll know more today when they get back out there and we hear reports from practice. So
what about the wide receivers? What about Franklin and Bryant?
They signed Brandon Johnson yesterday, so that's probably an indication that Franklin or Bryant won't go. At least one of them, if not both of them.
That's
a tough one. That's a tough one for the Broncos too. But their best receiver is Courtland Sutton. There's a wild card out here, and that's Evan Engram, who just hasn't done all that much this year. So we're hoping for that breakout moment in the AFC Championship game.
So they might be down to starting wide receivers and the quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. By the way, do you know there's two brothers playing in this game? Do you guys know that?
Yes,
Ellis and his brother, right?
Yeah,
Christian Ellis and his brother, yes.
Yeah. So that's a cool little moment. And by the way, we still hate Josh McDaniels. I just want to cover all the bases for this game. Oh, did you check the story? They're geo-fencing the tickets so Patriots fans outside of the Rocky Mountain region can't buy tickets.
Yeah,
I don't know if you caught that one.
Yeah, but that's fairly common now. That seems to be something that I had a friend reach out to me and say, "Hey, I can't buy tickets to this game. They're not letting me buy tickets." But that's second. You're gonna have to go to the secondary market. That seems to be something teams are doing now, and why wouldn't you just force people to pay more on secondary markets instead of taking the money yourself?
Sure. Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
All right. Do you have an honest prediction of this game, Darren McKee from Denver?
Yeah, I think it'll come down to turnovers. I think the Patriots got a little bit lucky when the ball got knocked out of Drake May's hand twice, and the Patriots recovered. If the Broncos can get to Drake May the way the Texans did, and they win giveaway takeaway, which is absolutely the key, if they're like +2, something like that, I think the Broncos probably win 23-13. So I'll go in that direction. I think they'll bring heat on to Drake May. I think the defense pass rush is just as good as Houston. I think they'll force turnovers and you won't get the bounces. And Jarrett Stidham will do enough. I think the Broncos will lead kind of from the start. And, game, set, and match for the Patriots, who are 0-4 in the playoffs in Denver, Colorado historically.
Well, there you go, Darren McKee. That might be the only prediction, Denver. So take Denver, he says, outright. Take the money line. Go nuts. Darren McKee loves Denver in this game. Darren, it's been too long. We love having you on.
You know I love you guys. You guys are the absolute best. And I always love my Radio Survivor friends. And I wish you the best except for Wallach.
Thank you, Darren. We appreciate it.
I didn't want to step on it. I knew you would get it in there. So
Gotcha.
Darren McKee, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You got it.
All right. I don't believe he believes that at all. They're down maybe 2 starting wide receivers and a quarterback.
Well, when I heard excitement in his voice when he was saying the words Jarrett Stidham, that's when it stretched the bounds of believability.
What percentage of the Patriot fan base do you think, if May was hurt, would still be picking the Patriots in this game?
Who's the backup?
Josh Dobbs.
Oh, that's right.
The Posternot. No, it's be honestly,
I would
10%,
think. I think half. See, I think it's if Denver's really reacting this way, I don't think it's dissimilar here.
If you're talking about Patriots fans, at least half.
No, if you just watch the last couple of games, you're like, defense will go win it for him again. This defense will go out there and win another game.
I think if May got hurt in that game and you came on the air and said, I don't think the Patriots can win this game with Josh Dobbs at quarterback, I think that the loud, active fan base would attack.
That would push. I mean, and Denver had Knicks.
No, regardless,
Okay.
just Josh Dobbs versus Jarrett Stidham. Like I think that even I think if you took Drake May off this team,
if you have Dobbs against Stidham, then yes, a majority of Patriots fans would go, yes, we're still going to win this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dobbs v. Stidham.
But Dobbs against Knicks, that would have been different.
See, I think if you take Drake May, in that he's a very viable candidate for MVP, if you take Drake May off this team would have struggled to beat almost anyone.
Agreed.
Outside of the AFC East.
Yeah.
You might be able to go 4-2 in the AFC East with Josh Dobbs at quarterback. But other than that,
both losses to the Jets.
I don't think you win at Denver, regardless of who Denver's quarterback is, with Joshua Dobbs as your quarterback. But this is a fun exercise that we could do for the rest of the week. I'm just wondering because Darren's like real homery with that, but like I be careful before you throw stones because I don't think it would be much different coming from this area. Now, the Bruins, the Red Sox, the Celtics, major injury, then you might have a more realistic approach. The Patriots, I do not see that happening.
Oh, it's been a magical season, Fred.
Why can't you just enjoy the ride, man?
I have been enjoying the ride, and I have not been negative. The fan base has been incredibly negative. There's never meaner things said by anyone in the history of the radio. I've been on the radio here for 20 years than when the Patriots are doing well. Then you get people out of the woodwork that are just incredibly cruel. And not even about the Patriots, just about me as a person. then I haven't been negative about the Patriots at all. Like, before the season, I didn't think they were going to be any good, but this is a big surprise.
You weren't alone.
Well, listen, even if I was alone, what do you want out of me? I don't know.
I agreed with you. I thought they were going to win 7 games.
Well, I don't. You'd have to be out of your mind to think that they would have been in the AFC Championship game. You would just have to be a blind homer. I mean, there's no way anyone knew May was going to be this good. You thought May would be good, not this good right away, like not historically good. I mean, which is all positive stuff. I don't know why it's met with such, on all the shows too. Even the midday show with Zolak, mad at him. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5.
Gasper and Murray kicks off our coverage at noon, and Bob and Zoe bring you the action beginning at 3. On the Safety Insurance 98.5, the Sports Hub, Patriots Radio Network. Patriots. The Broncos. AFC Championship game on your home for New England Patriots football all season long. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Let's do it. And the Toucher and Hardy email bit is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers, the best, baby. You've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all 7-617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. Perhaps if you got whiplash from Darren McKee's hot takes. You go, whoa, 617-777-7777. If you want to email the show, go to 985thesportshub.com. Get our email addresses. Follow us on socials. There's a new Bill Belichick one-up video. At Toucher and Hardy, at Hardy985, and at Fred Toucher, where I'm chasing Jared Stidham's wife. I'm only less than 100,000 followers away from getting to Stidham's wife.
You're right there, right on her heels.
This guy, Dave, he emails hundreds and hundreds of times, but he doesn't seem completely like a lunatic, so I will read this.
All right.
Whenever we make fun of the Grateful Dead, which Denver was an excuse to do, I'll make fun of the Grateful Dead, and I know it's going to upset people because people that like the Grateful Dead are easily upset. That's why they listen to music that's the least confrontational. It's music for people that hate confrontation is the best way I've heard it described. Dave, first of all, says, I'm not a Grateful Dead fan. I couldn't tell you one song by them. But this is something Fred does constantly. Just because he doesn't like something, it means that everyone who does like it is only pretending to like it or faking their fandom. If Fred doesn't like it, it means nobody could actually likes it. Yes, you already said that, Dave. Can't you just accept that people have different tastes and like different things than you? It's not that hard of a thing to do. You liking something doesn't mean it's the only good thing that exists in the world. Now, Dave, that is very unfair. There's hundreds and thousands of things that I don't enjoy that I accept that other people enjoy. I've never had a cheeseburger or mac and cheese, yet I make them for my children. I mean, there's a lot of things. There are very few things that I insist that no one really likes if it's not for extraneous things. Like in music, I can only think of two off the top of my head. That it doesn't matter if there's like a niche thing, but like huge, powerful, social, massive waves of phenomenon. And those two things, one is the Grateful Dead. I don't believe anyone actually likes this music. I really don't. And two is Sonic Youth. I don't believe anyone really likes Sonic Youth. So those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head. And there's plenty of things that John listens to. I don't like REM, but I don't question Hardy liking REM. I understand why that is music that can be enjoyed.
Do you like or not like New Jack Swing?
I have no opinion on New Jack Swing. Okay. There's a lot of things I don't have any opinion on either. I wouldn't purchase music or actively seek it out, but when it's playing, I don't get it doesn't ruffle my feathers. Even our
That's
generation.
offensive to John, by the way.
I apologize, John, for going after birds. Even our generation, like when I saw my friends or people in my social circle becoming hippies, I would get intrigued and I go, I honestly, you like dressing this way and smelling this way, and I understand that this is what you enjoy doing. What are you listening to? And when it was the Grateful Dead, if the Grateful Dead doesn't have all that surrounding them, no one's listening to that music.
But you have in the past, during multiple conversations, one of them was when we were discussing bluegrass, and you said you don't like that. You're just saying that. And I don't mind occasionally hearing a bluegrass song or Zydeco music. I don't sit down and listen to it for an hour at a time.
But it's also not your identity. Like no. You're not following around Bluegrass Jones from city to city, dressing like Bluegrass Jones.
Is he on tour right now?
putting photos on Facebook, like basically, I have a guy that was in my fraternity that owns it. Apparently, now that I'm back on Facebook because I wanted to see what this girl looked like, he has this agave company, and the agave company's logo is the Grateful Dead skull with an agave plant in it. Like, so his life, quite literally, is revolving around the image of the Grateful Dead. He's a trust fund kid. He drove a Corvette at Rollins. He was in my fraternity, and now he's Captain Hippie with some agave farm that his family money's obviously. And I'm not friends with him on Facebook. I just saw this as I was scrolling for girls that I wanted to see what they looked like now. I have no time for any men on Facebook. I just want to see what girls I went to high school would look like now.
On this subject, real quick, Rob was wondering how we left Jimmy Buffett out of that segment.
Because I don't think Jimmy Buffett's bad, and at least that lifestyle's kind of fun.
And is that hippie? I mean, no, I don't think of it. I don't think of it that way.
That's different.
And hippie music isn't as bad as the Grateful Dead as a rule. The Grateful Dead is in it. So, I don't think if you're just lumping the Grateful Dead in with everything that I don't like, that's completely unfair and not doing due damage to the Grateful Dead.
Right.
It's a whole other category.
It's both incorrect and not mean enough. It's a good email here from Chris because we were talking about the difference between Dave Matthews Band and Fish and how Dave Matthews going to have so much higher estimated net worth than Trey Anastasio. Chris says, well, according to Google, Fish only performs 20 to 30 concerts a year. Dave Matthews is between 40 and 70. Oh, wow. Due to the mainstream popularity of Dave Matthews, he earns approximately $2.7 million per year in licensing royalties, while Fish do not sound good at all, earn the majority of their worth through live shows and merchandising and accepting money from people who obviously hate music.
Okay, so Dave Matthews is infinitely better than the Grateful Dead and infinitely better than Fish, and Fish are infinitely better than the Grateful Dead. And I don't like Dave Matthews. So this, if you want to structure, I don't like Dave Matthews. I really don't like Fish. But this is better than the Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead is unlistenable garbage. I was at a bar one time in Detroit, and it was during the day, and my friend and I are sitting there drinking, and there's this weird tuning going on. Like, it's just playing over the speakers, and I'm like, is a band in here? And then I ignore it, and I'm talking to my friend. I'm like, Jesus Christ, tune your instruments. And I finally go to the guy, go, why is this guy tuning up? And he's like, what are you talking about? This is a true story. And I go, the effing tuning. He goes, oh, no, this is the Dead from, like, San Francisco 82. I go, this is something that you own and are playing for your pleasure? It was ding, 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 ding. And it's part of the tape that the guy's putting on. Like, come on. No. And there's like plenty of like art stuff that's supposed to be cool, like art music and experimental music that I find completely unlistenable too. And I question that anyone will listen to it, but it's not people's identity. Like no one goes, I'm Mike Patton's solo album. Like that's what I am. No, but you are a Grateful Dead fan. That's how part of what you identify with, that you like the Grateful Dead. And I don't believe you like their music. I just don't. Or else you forced yourself long ago
to belong to something.
It's like being a Jet fan. Like you're a fan of the Jets. Why? Just because I am. And now I'm watching admittedly garbage every Sunday. But it's not a music.
One more here. Hey guys, love the show, and Ben here is accusing me of trying to pull a long con. He says, I know Hardy's been talking about his 90s cruise, but Facebook has exposed his real plans. And he has included a screenshot here of something called Disc East. Now, this is happening on January 24th, 25th, 2 big days, the Royal Plaza Trade Center, Best Western, Marlborough, Mass.
No!
This is Paragon Disc Golf's premier disc golf expo. Once again, at the best.
Where is it?
The Best Western in Marlborough.
That's like a low-grade card show.
With appearances, by
Milo Toucher,
Calvin Heimberg, Isaac Robinson, Simon Lizotte.
Karl Heinberg.
Isaac?
Heir of the atomic bomb.
Isaac's
throne.
Isaac's going to be there?
No, different Isaac.
Oh.
No, don't get Fred too excited. Otherwise, we're going to lose him.
Hey there.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi.
Say my name.
We just did. We did.
Hi, I'm Isaac.
Yeah, you
Hi,
are.
Isaac.
Hey there. It's Isaac.
I thought maybe Isaac from the Love Boat would be there, but that would be too big a get.
Yeah.
We all
right.
know Hardy needs Monday off. Again, love the show, but can Hardy admit he's famous now and doesn't need this form of self-deprecation? John, you're a bird. Caw.
There you
Okay.
go.
Who was the intern that loved throwing the disc with you?
Oh, yeah, that kid.
It was Reese.
It was Reese. Is Reese going to be there? Have you been in contact with Reese about these things?
Reese and I are ultimate players. This is disc golf. And even the president of Buddha and I, as he was in my home, discussed that people say to us all the time, especially me, it's like, Hardy, you love golf. You love, throwing the Frisbee around. You should try disc golf. I have. I don't care for it. I don't know why. It should be. Should be two things I like, merged into one. It's not for me.
There's this nature trail by the fitness facility where my parents live, and they put one disc golf hole, and then they gave up.
They understood that it was pointless.
It's like Jim Nance's backyard.
Yeah, exactly. Like that one hole from Pebble Beach.
Everyone has to stop by and look.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There it is. It's a
So
replica.
yeah, like there's just this random. I wouldn't even say it's a hole. It's just this random pole with like the chain in it.
basket. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like whatever it's called, and there's just one of them. And so I started exploring, and I'm like, did they put a disc golf course in? And it's like, nah, they just put the one.
They just put the one.
And then the guy was
And
like,
it's
is
all
anyone going to notice if I don't finish this up?
It's all open around it, no obstacles. Nah.
But during COVID, man, you stayed
Try and throw it
safe
in
playing
there.
disc golf. You can play disc golf and not get sick.
Hell yeah.
Ugh. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
It'll be the
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, The Stack on Toucher and Hardy is brought to you by New England's largest Volkswagen dealer group, Colonial VW, located in Medford, Wellesley, and Westboro. Come see the amazing finance and lease officers happening every day. This is earlier in this year, and they had already lost a couple games at that point. I texted a friend and told him they would win the Super Bowl, and this is how confident I am. At the time, he bet the Patriots plus 9,000. $500 to win the Super Bowl. That's now would pay $45,500. But if he cashes out today, he can get a little under 10 grand for the $500 bet. So we were talking about, when do you cash this out? Now, do you take the 10 grand and run right now, knowing they're playing Stidham in the AFC Championship game? Do you ride out the AFC Championship game? It'll probably only go up really to like 12,000. Cash out at that point, or do you sit through the Super Bowl for the 45,000? What do you do?
Right now, I ride it out, but and this is, I think, the exact correct calculus here, because right now, the odds for them to win the Super Bowl are right around plus 250.
They would be 4-point underdogs to whichever NFC team they would face at this point. They'd be. I saw 3.5 to look ahead for both teams.
I don't know what that equates to in terms of a money line number. Is that like 180 maybe?
You're asking the wrong guy about that.
But
I don't know.
It wouldn't be worth it to me. I think you ride it out this game, and then that $500 ticket should net you, I would think, 15,000. Oh, I'm leaving 30 grand on the table. No, take the 15.
I would agree. That's exactly what I would do. I assume they're going to win this weekend, but they'd be an underdog to whoever they play 2 weeks from Sunday. You cash out then.
So my brain would do this. I would obviously keep it going through this game because of Stidham. If not, I might cash it out. But since Stidham is playing, I'm definitely riding it out this game. And then here's how my brain would work.
Oh, I would cash it before this game if
Bo Nix for the quarterback.
Oh,
hell yes.
Yeah. So would I.
Yeah.
But since Stidham, you got to ride it out. It's a huge. You got to ride it out, or else you're cheating yourself. Because then you'll feel like an a-hole if they lose.
Then again, just let me throw another wrinkle in here. If Bo Nix were playing in this game, say that ticket's worth $6,000 as opposed to 10.
Well, no, if Bo Nix was playing, it would be 6,000 instead of 10. I'd still take the money.
You take $6,000 instead of a chance at 45.
Yeah, you know what? I'd probably let it ride for another game, but because it's like found money. But I'm not sweating through the Super Bowl because at that point now you got 12 grand in your pocket, 13 grand in your pocket, and that's real money.
That's real money.
So I'm taking that, and I'm fine. I'm fine at that point, because then I feel like I lost 12 grand if and when they lose the Super Bowl. I would feel at that point that I had like missed out on some real money. But I'm certainly not selling the ticket before Sunday, especially if he's obviously a Patriots fan.
$500 for the Patriots to win the Super Bowl.
Well, that's what I told him is I'm just like, that's a scratch. You just paid about a $500 scratch ticket.
I like my chances on a scratch ticket a lot more than that, but
listen, once in a lifetime, if you take enough shots at huge odds, you're at least gonna have a chance to cash in on it. Now, $45,000 is a lot of money.
45 grand. Screw you guys. Double Freedom Rockets. You never see me again.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm out of here in my Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Your Lamborghini.
Moving to Bora Bora. So long, suckers.
Isn't it funny that $45,000, then they take 20 grand out for taxes? It's $25,000. Like, it's just
congratulations.
Inflation.
Yeah. You can send your
told me 30 years ago that you would have been like sneezing at $25,000.
That's right. Send your daughter to college for about 8 weeks. Good for you.
Well, you get into a local public school, get a little financial help. You could get through a year.
Okay.
Maybe. All right. Well, listen, that'll do it for us. Thank you for all the guests. We will be back tomorrow with Phil Perry et al. That'll do it for us. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.